Like I said, it's something that we have to talk about, is the ability to get ready here for these 170-pounders, and maybe they're not used to waiting here.
Marcus Murphy. And in Class 3A, at 170 pounds on mat 3, Calvin Howler of Sandburg. His opponent, Dan Rowland.
All right, here we go, live.
Let's wrestle.
You just heard the words, let's wrestle. Mammon in on a quick shot, comes up into the single and takes him down for 2. Like you talked about, Coach, he's going to be tough to beat. He's been impressive, and off the top, he's just been unbelievable.
Now he's rolling, there's no doubt about it.
Got his crossface in, locked up a cradle. He's hip to hip, suicides him through, and he's got him on his back. Nice job by the boy from East Moline to fight his way off, but Mammon gets 3.
Well, that's got to be one of the things I think that they've talked about in the East Moline corner, is trying to weather the storm here and survive this initial rush. And that's something that he's got to get through here and just get in the flow of the match and see if he can slow it down a little bit.
Well, Mammon's one of my favorites to watch because he gets on top and he's in constant motion to try and pin you. And like you mentioned earlier, I know all year long he's had trouble finding quality matches because he's just been so dominant. And looks like he's going to go optional start here. He leads 8-0 with the 2 near falls. I'm sorry, did cover him. Stays on top, looks for the crossface again.
Boy, he buries that crossface
doesn't
deep.
he ever? Nice, just beautiful technique. Again, gets his 3 near fall. He'll lead 11-0. Another crossface on. Look at the authority he throws the crossface. Not a cheap shot. He just brings it tight and brings it hard.
Well, he's obviously a seasoned wrestler, and wants to try to look for something tight here, see if he can secure this fall.
Unfortunately, he's chosen to play football in college. They tell me he was an excellent quarterback down there, going to play some Division II football, because I think he'd have a tremendous future as a Division I wrestler.
Well, that's part of the problem with some of our really, really good athletes, especially in some of these mid-upper and upper weights. You lose those guys to football, and we've had several examples of that throughout the years in the state at all 3 classes, so you're right about that.
Again, 15 seconds left, first period. Mammon leads 11-0. Again, constantly on top, working for the fall.
And as the period ends, it's an 11-0 score, and obviously Murphy weathered that, but he sure would like to be a little bit tighter in terms of that score. He let that get away with a couple of near falls there, and he's going to have a big hole to try to dig himself out of here.
He chooses neutral with his choice, and I got to figure he's going to look for a throw, maybe for the one-time thing to win himself a state championship. He goes underneath, nice high shot, and listen to his back. There it is.
I'll tell you what, that's a great job.
Yep, right away.
It wasn't a throw, but he sure did an excellent job getting him to his back. That's exactly what he needed to get back in this match.
Needs to step to his left one time, maybe real hard, to get that shoulder down. He's got him flat.
I'll tell you what, that's a bad angle right there.
Yes, it is.
He's trying to get that arm through. He is in really good position here to secure a fall. And Marcus Murphy, he has not quit this whole tournament. He's had several close matches. And this is the reason why. He has a tremendous amount of heart right there.
Oh, just beautiful for both kids. Kids down 11-0, Coach. And it'd be easy to say, hey, I'm done dealing. Instead, he comes down, high crotch, right to his back, and came real close to getting the pin. But 11-5, Mammon weathered that one and gets his escape, 12-5
Well,
now.
like I said, if he could have kept it to single digits in the first period, it could be an 8-5 match here, and he's really in the match. Now he's still got a little ways to make up, but I think that sent a message, and
might slow Mammon down a little bit.
Absolutely.
Because that's why we talk about in wrestling, you're never out of a match. One quick thing, put him on his back, and you can win it. Always tell people you can pin people you can't beat. So
that's what's unique about our sport, definitely. Now, obviously, the pace has slowed down. Mammon is not quite as aggressive, and he's going to be a little more calculated on his shot.
Good shot, walks it, and nice little scramble there, and Mammon spins behind him, and he'll get 2. He'll lead 14-5, and we're inside 20 seconds in the second period. And again, look at the crossface coming on, hip to hip. When he's on top, makes it real hard to come up off of that. And again, I know we mention this every year, Coach, but people should watch this not only for the entertainment, but watch the technique. That's the best way to learn. Everybody knows a single leg takedown, a high crotch, those things, but just watch the perfection that some of these kids have when they do it.
Absolutely. Lambros Photos is yelling encouragement from the corner.
Lambros got that program going back again. They've been down for a couple years. I think this year this will be their third All-Stater this year, so he's got it moving a little bit. We already know about Rock Island, the success they've had. Moline, year in and year out, has been successful. So the Quad Cities is starting to pick it up a little bit. But we're 15-5 with 1:38.5 seconds left in the third period. Again, now you're Mammon. Just go out there and make sure you don't make any mistakes. Get flipped there to your back.
Right. He's gonna tighten things up. He's gonna make sure that he doesn't allow that penetration and get him into his hips again. But he's still okay in the match, and he knows it.
Yeah.
But he's gonna be very smart about his shot selection here.
We're just about at a minute. Third period again. Mammon would lead 15-5.
A little bit of hand fighting going on. They're down under a minute.
Again, if I'm the East Moline boy, I got to start taking chances.
Well, yeah, that's how he got himself back in the match. So
if it's not there, that's fine. But one more time, try and hit that move and put him on his back. Once more, Coach Fodos over there on the sidelines trying to tell him that, I believe. It's easy for us to say, hey, he should do this.
Right.
He's against an outstanding wrestler, so it might not actually be there for him.
Right. Well, at the very least, he did an excellent job here. He made this a competitive match.
And got the crowd all excited.
Absolutely, right off the bat. We saw what supported that old adage, anything can happen in wrestling. We saw that right here.
And in this weight class, finishing third was a name you'll recognize, Andrew Marsden from Crystal Lake Central.
Right.
He beat Martez Cox from Peoria High School in the third place match. And Marsden's brother, obviously great career at Crystal Lake, and he's down wrestling at Oklahoma State actually right now. So.
Right. Andrew hasn't quite filled out like his older brother has yet, but he looks like he will very soon.
Yeah, he's still only a sophomore, so he's got a bright future for him too. So again, your state champion out of Urbana High School, Cameron Mammon, 33-0, undefeated senior, and he can do a backflip also.
Well, when you get to that match and you get to that win, you get a little bit of freedom there.
Yeah, always handle it with class, and that was a classy way to finish it. Nice hug and gets the hand raised. And again, great thing for their program down there. Urbana's not a state power, just kind of a local school here, and for him to be able to come through and win a state championship's got to be a great thrill for him. And again, knowing his family, just the family in general, all the years they put in for as far as wrestling and things.
Right.
The Montini boy, they're both in black, but the Montini boy will have the M on his side, and the Washington boy will have the W on his side. The Montini boy will have the white headgear, is possibly the easiest way.
Right.
And our referee here at 182 is Ron Vermillion from Crystal Lake. He'll be assisted by Ron Coit from Farmer City. So here we go, 182 state championship match. And again, we'll get a chance to talk quite a bit about Montini. They've got 8 finalists in, which is a real nice deal. Right away, Turk into a nice shot and gets an early lead, 2-0.
Turk's a good finisher. I like that he has good power finishes, and he does a good job. He's an all-around wrestler. All positions are pretty solid. A lot of the Montini guys will rely more on the cut and chase type of method early in the match, and Jake's a guy that sometimes Coach Israel let him ride and see what he can do to work for turns. He's very good on top.
He hits I call it a suicide tip, rolled him through and counting. He's going to get at least 2 backs, and we're to 3 near fall, so he'll lead 5-0. Yeah, watch the way he just rides those hips so tight, and look at the physical strength there to try and turn him. The hips are coming hard. And that's the one thing you got started up there with Montini. Do you work at different series, or do you look at each boy and try and figure out which way is the best thing for him to do on top?
Well, that's something that my philosophy, we always tried to teach certain things that we called automatics and certain philosophies and certain techniques. And I think Coach Israel, pretty much is the same way. in terms of his technique. But you'd be silly to not understand that certain boys have better aptitude towards certain things than other kids, and you have to use and coach them to their strengths. If you don't do that, you're not doing them any justice. And so I think that's what good coaches have to do.
Well, you mentioned earlier that Turk spends a lot of time on the mat wrestling as compared to some of their other kids. So yeah, that comes into play as far as an important part of all this. And Washington's from our area, and I get a chance to watch them quite a bit, and Coach Brian Medlin does a great job over there. He takes the kids to all the big tournaments. Last year he's had, Dylan Reel graduated last year, a 3-time state champ. They've got 2 boys in the finals this year, and he's got a couple real solid freshmen who compete real hard for him, so their future's real bright. We need more programs like his, and we'll see East Peoria here in a couple minutes. Another one that's done a great job trying to get downstate to catch up with you people up there.
Well, that's what people don't understand is that, he rolls through another tilt here, but here's a kid like Colin Carr, and you mentioned he didn't have a lot of success early in high school. But when you have a coach who's committed to the program and committed to off-season development and committed to pushing his kids, you can have a kid like him who doesn't have early success who can really blossom. And here he is wrestling in state finals. That's what I think good programs are able to do with kids that might have average ability, or they haven't had what I call the great pedigree from the IKWF or the IHSA. So, that's a tribute to their program that they are building, and having kids like Dylan Reel in the room doesn't hurt for 3 or 4 years either, and gives them something to aspire to.
Well, hopefully these high school kids understand, like you just said, how the younger kids look up to them. You get a kid who comes, works real hard in the room, and you kind of idolize him. You're going to say, gee, I'm going to work that hard too because I want to achieve that success. But it's sometimes hard. That's why you have to really respect this boy, not to have success right away. It's real easy to say, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. It's not much easier to do other things. So, like I said, hopefully they get more and more kids who are willing to work on this. But Turk's just putting on a nice clinic for us.
Absolutely, and he's very controlled. He doesn't get himself in exposed positions very often. He's very calculated, a very controlling type of wrestler. He's got a 9-0 lead, and he seems to have everything well in hand. But of course, we saw last match, just one match ago, with an 11-0 lead, how quickly things can turn. So.
Now, do you know if Turk's interested in attending college to wrestle, or haven't you gone that far?
He's got several things that he's balancing right now, and he's looking at a lot of things. He's a solid student, and I know that after the season he was going to address some of those things. He's a kid that wants to wrestle at the highest level that he can, and so sometimes, as you know, that takes a little time to shake out.
Yep.
With that, but he really is truly a gym rat. Here's a kid, the size and physique that he has. It's surprising that he doesn't play football, and the reason is he loves wrestling. He wrestles year round. He's a true mat rat, so to speak. So he's earned everything that has come his way. That's for sure.
Well, that's the big thing I'm sure we'll stress throughout the course of the night, how the dedication and discipline it takes to be an outstanding wrestler. It's not one of those things you can just show up on a mat and become real good at. And we'll hopefully be able to go through and give some credit to some of the organizations that help this. And we can start at the young part, the IKWF program.
Absolutely.
Their regional series starts next weekend. Their state's up in Rockford. And it's no reason why Illinois' high school kids are so good, because we've got so many tremendous coaches in the grade school program through our IKWF and, as you mentioned, our IHSA.
Correct.
In fact, the state finals are in Rockford March 8th and 9th, I believe.
Right.
Get up there to watch those if you can. They have a grand march that wrestle the finals on platforms, and it's just run a real quality situation up there.
Well, it really has taken off and grown, so it's really something that I think, again, is one of the great spectacles in terms of a tournament for that age group throughout the country.
And Turk rides him out. He'll lead 9-0 in the third period. They're going to put Carr on top, I believe, to try and turn him and win the match. So, Carr takes the top.
Now, if this could be some scouting here now. If there's any part of Jake's match that isn't as strong as the other match, he sometimes struggles a little bit on the bottom.
And watch.
It looks like a false start here. So. So this could be, scouting on Washington's part. They're going to try to do whatever they can, again, to try to get that one opportunity here, change the match.
Washington, boy, wrestled quite a bit during the course of the year. His best stuff on top. I actually couldn't ride him. So
Jake made sure that he proved me wrong there about his scouting report.
Yeah. A little hand fighting. Again, Carr in his earlier matches really didn't have a lot of points he put on the board. He just wrestled very smart, good head position, a lot of hand fighting, and be able to come back from a 10-point deficit, I think it's going to be pretty hard for him.
Right.
But again, his coach, Brian Medlin's a Greco coach, so got to have some throws in there.
So, they've worked some throws in that room.
During the course
That's
of
for
practice.
sure.
And Turk in on his shot. Driving, he's going to look for the backs off of it too. Didn't get it, hooked the leg. He scores his 2 points. They'll lead 12-0 with just over 1 minute and 15 seconds left. Again, nice tight ride. Hips are real tight.
Right. And when you've got great, as you know, when you ride, a lot of the riding is done with the pressure that you create with your feet and your body position, obviously.
Well, that's what a lot of kids don't understand. I don't think they all want to go and bench press and everything else. To me, you do those deadlifts and those squats and get your hips and thighs strong, and you learn how to use them, obviously. But he cuts him 12-1. Carr takes a shot, bails out. Nice reshot by Turk. Locks up on the leg, and we're inside 40 seconds left. Carr keeping the pressure on. He's still working hard for it. Tries to run, and he's going to have his too.
Jake right there, now he's that kind of wrestler. He will not get overextended down there and be too proud to give up a takedown in that situation. That's how he is. He's a very smart wrestler. He knows he's got a big lead, and he's not going to do anything to expose himself or get his arms away from his body or have any type of a pancake situation or anything negative happen to him in this situation.
Good call. Just happened again. He could have fought and maybe got in trouble, and he said, no, I got a big lead. Coach Martinez is real happy, though. He wants to finish him off here. But like you say, state championship here, you don't want to do anything silly. Carr's going to cut him.
He's going to put him up, and Colin's going to look for a throw opportunity here, I'm sure.
Smart
Could
move.
have been one of those Greco throws you were talking about that he was trying to set up there, and Jake rotates around.
And he'll take him down at the buzzer to win the match. It's going to be 16-5 is our final score. So again, a great match. Jake Turk, our state champion, a senior from Montini, 43 wins and 8 losses. And it's always nice to see seniors finish off their individual career with a state championship.
He just had a real solid year from start to finish, and wrestled well everywhere he went. Very soft-spoken young man, not real flashy, but he's got to feel good with that effort to finish off his individual season.
He's
Great
had
job.
Pretty good individual season. Second at Dvorak, second at the Cheesehead, which is a prestigious place. 5-1 at the class, regional champ, sectional champ, and state champ.
Yep.
That's a real nice season for a particular boy.
Anthony's younger brother, Dominic, his nickname is Momo. He's an IKWF wrestler, and he had a tragic accident a little over a month ago. He collapsed on a treadmill and experienced liver failure and kidney failure, and really was in severe trouble, critical condition, and through a lot of prayers and a lot of people's support, he kind of bounced back, and now he's getting ready to be discharged. He might even gotten discharged this weekend, if I stand corrected. And he's just a wonderful story, and how everyone has rallied around the family.
Well, like I said, Montini usually doesn't show up in green. You guys got a lot of different uniforms, but none of them are green.
And I guess green is the significance of that is the color of liver awareness. And so his liver, he was actually, Dominic was listed right off the bat. He was number 1 on the national donator list, or donation list rather, and the doctor said they never seen anything like it. His liver bounced back and actually started to regenerate, and that's back to 95%. So, a pretty feel-good story. He's going to be out of commission for a while, his wrestling and football career, but he's one fortunate young man.
That's a tough deal for a grade school kid to put up with.
It sure is.
Hickman's in the white singlet, Ferraro in the dark with the yellow stripes. Is there any place that our listeners could go to learn more about this type of thing, a website?
Well, I know that he's been listed on Illinois Map Man. There was a quick shot there. And, it's been, Man has been very supportive. I know a lot of the meets and even some of the tournaments, regionals and sectionals have had cans or opportunities to donate to the Dominic Ferraro Fund. I know that there's some things out there, so you could contact Montini Catholic High School too if you wanted to donate. But
all right, and he mentioned Illinois Map Man. Most of you, I'm sure, have heard of the website. Mike Bear is the administrator there, and they do a great job with promoting the sport and so on. But again, nothing here. A lot of hand fighting. Ferraro looks like he's slowed him down pretty much. So earlier on, we saw the boy from Ridge South, Hickman, using his quickness and moving real fast, and Ferraro's been able to negate that for the first minute and a half.
Well, Anthony's actually very athletic. And his game is he wants to slow this match down, and he's a very, very calculated type of wrestler. But he can score in some flurries too, and he wants to try to gain position. And he's looking for a couple openings here, and going to make him count to try to score.
Now, you obviously also up there at Montini have a tremendous football program. I think he plays football for you, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Anthony was a starter on our offensive line this year, and there's that opening I was talking about.
There you go.
Just missed there. And yes, he started for us on the offensive line as a junior, had a great season, and he's just that type of an explosive kid.
Well, it's a good family for you to have or be part of your school. You said one of the grade school boys doing real well. Obviously, he's doing well, and they had an older brother that would have wrestled heavyweight.
Right. His older brother won the state heavyweight title, and he weighed about 218 pounds.
It was real fun to watch.
He was an excellent football player and wrestler himself. So, it's a nice wrestling family, tough kids, hard-nosed kids. They just get after it, and they love to compete.
And again, boy off the bottom right away gets to his feet. Nice mat return, landed in a sit-out. Nice move. So Hickman will lead 1-0 to start of the second period.
That's a big point, because he scores first, and by the coin flip there, and that could come back to help position him to have an advantage if this match were to go to overtime. And as a coach, you got to always be thinking about those things, even this early in the match.
Exactly. You always want that choice in that bad last part of overtime. And again, we're still 1-0. Again, Rich South, first state finalist in the history of the school, and it's got to be great for their program as far as doing some things.
I'm pretty impressed if this Hickman young man spent a lot of the year wrestling 182. He might have been the world's biggest 182 pounder.
He was. We wrestled over them in a tournament where he was there, and he was a big kid back then. So
he's a whole head almost taller here than Ferraro at 195, and he looks every bit 195. He must have had a hollow leg.
Yeah. Again, a lot of hand fighting and moving around. Still 1-0. We're just about at a minute in the second period.
Ferraro's going to try to work inside. I think what he really wants to do is establish an underhook
out of
position. He loves to get that left-handed underhook, and he's going to want to try to high crotch with his right arm.
And that keeps Hickman from using his quickness. Absolutely. If he can get that hook locked up.
And Anthony's a patient wrestler. He'll wait. He'll set the whole match up, and he'll wait for a couple of those opportunities.
There you go. You just called it as it happened there.
There you go.
Nice counter for the takedown, and he scores too. Mike Makoviak is our head referee here. He's from Geneva. Scott Blankenship's working with him. Scott from Milan. So now 2-1 in favor of Ferraro, and he's got 45 seconds to go. Second period. Nice power stand. And we move him out of bounds. So 40 seconds left. And again, big point to score here for Hickman. If he can get an escape, take it to that third period with the tie score, he's right in the match. He gets ridden out here, he's really going to have to work hard.
Absolutely. He wants to come up, and nice he does.
I like his movement when he gets to his feet. He uses his quickness and athleticism to get the escape. So now inside 30 seconds left. And trying to get in on a shot. Nice.
Ferraro does an excellent job. He kind of forces that half shot, and he's ready for it. And he's going to try to score off a counter shot here.
He showed some real quickness there to spin behind him. That was really nice. It was out of bounds, so we're inside 15 seconds. And on a shot again, looking for the carry and not going to be able to score. And we'll go to the third period. Again, tie score 2-2. Ferraro's going to take bottom. Okay, we'll assume you're coaching the boy from Rich South here. You're going to stay on him and try and turn him. At what point in time,
well,
maybe to cut him and try and win it with a takedown?
There have been no stalling calls, so you got to leave yourself time. So I'm going to sit on top of him for maybe 30 seconds, and we're going to cut him and we're going to make him go on his feet. Sometimes you don't want to get yourself in a situation because Ferraro's, he knows he's got one in the bank, so to speak. He's going to be able to get out. So.
The big thing is this boy with the long arms. I haven't seen him much this weekend, but I got to assume he's got some cradles he can lock up with those. But Ferraro's doing a great job of coming to his feet to stay out of that with the hand control. And Matt returned him. And again, a lot of movement there. We're at 145. And he's talking to his coach over at Rich South. They're asking him if he wants to cut him, and he's saying yes.
So he hasn't had much luck, and he's just gonna waste energy trying to ride him or trying to turn him at this point. So now he wants to go strong on his feet.
Yeah, even if you ride him out, you got to take him down in overtime to beat him. So now he trails 3-2, and Ferraro, like you called, he's just so quick on those. You shoot on him, and he's spinning behind you. That's real impressive. He'll lead 5-2, but again, a quick escape here, and Hickman's back in the match.
Well, Hickman's I think he's got to commit to a full shot here. He hasn't really tried to really bring his hips with him on a shot. That was kind of a dive at an ankle, and he kind of changed his mind in the middle of the shot. And Ferraro's a very good counter wrestler. You're not going to score on him with those kind of.
Well, again, we can
shots.
talk about the difference in programs. Rich South, those places, like I said, we've seen them in tournaments where those things probably work for him. Montini wrestles the big schedule and stuff where their boys, Ferraro in this case, they're used to moving quicker and so on. It makes a big difference.
Well, absolutely, and the schedule is a really big part of the formula. We talk about that all the time whenever people talk about the program and building the program. It just, the level of competition that these kids see, and some of the other kids from other teams throughout the tournament that you see that are making frequent appearances in the finals and having a lot of success in the dual tournament. They see that kind of competition, and their kids are just used to that, and they don't get rattled.
That's why it's great for some of these schools. We saw Urbana earlier, and now we're at Rich South, where it doesn't happen real often where they get a kid in the state finals. And hopefully that kind of helps out their program as far as getting other kids involved and active. Hickman again on his dive shot. Didn't work out for him. Ferraro with a lot of scrambling, nothing yet. And still a nice scramble as far as stuff goes. Hickman did a great job.
Very good job to stay alive there. That takedown would have nailed it, and he knew he couldn't give that up.
Now 35 seconds left. We're 5-3 in favor of Ferraro, and Hickman's coming after him. We'll just see if he can adjust and maybe finish his shot instead of just reaching and hoping.
Excellent job set up there. Well, he still can't finish. But he's staying active. That's the key. Ferraro's doing a good job there, and Hickman's keeping the pressure on. This is a great match down at the end.
I like Ferraro's attitude. I got a 2-point lead, but I'm not going to sit on it. I'm going to come after you and still stick with my best game plan and things.
Well, what he's doing is he's using Hickman's forward motion against him. When he starts to press and push, he's changing his level and he's creating an angle, and that just gets a scoring opportunity. Now, he hasn't been able to convert on it yet. Here's a stalling call. 10
seconds left. Just hit him with a warning, just to tell him to be a little more active. And again, nice job of using the edge of the mat. Gets there. Hickman makes the shot, and there was no way he was going to score because of where the positioning on it. So we're at 5 seconds left. Hickman in on a dive again. And we're going to have a state champion at 195 pounds, Anthony Ferraro from Montini. Junior now 35 wins, 8 losses. And finishes second for us will be Roy Hickman from Rich South. We didn't get a chance to tell you, but finishing third was Jacob Davis from Sycamore. And Pat, I hope I pronounce this, Vitek from Nazareth Academy. Nazareth Academy's kind of been an up-and-comer here in the last couple years. I think they had a state champ last year, maybe.
Absolutely.
220, so that's neat to see.
Well, this is a great win for Anthony. I know him and his family have been through an awful lot this year.
So it'll be 2 contrasting styles. Again, Joseph will be in the black singlet, and Schultz will be in the white singlet. Our head referee here will be Tim Dodge, and Tim's going to be working with Jack Williams. So we'll see if Schultz can slow him down a little bit here early. You talked about in one of the previous matches, weathering the storm, and Schultz is in on a shot right away to try and do that.
Schultz has done a good job here. He kind of switched up his game plan. He's coming out a little more aggressively than I've seen him in the other couple of matches throughout the tournament.
And again, Joseph's one that maybe doesn't get to wrestle the schedule that some of these other kids do. So we'll see how he reacts out here. But again, right here last year in the state finals, so he's a well-seasoned as far as being out here. Nice shot on him again. He's working real hard at that left leg. Trying to trip, keeps working. Again, drives him off the mat. You can't see if he kept his toes in or not.
Nope. Tim Dodge gave the 2 and then he waved it off, so we couldn't see there in front of the scorer's table. But
Joseph needs to get a little bit more active. We've seen him in earlier matches be active as can be, and he's not being able to get to anything yet. Boy's done a great job of getting to that left leg.
Yeah, Schultz has been very aggressive, and Lucas Joseph he hadn't got his defense rolling yet. He's been a little flat-footed here. He's got to, like they say, kind of go back to basics and get his feet a little more active so he can defend and also attack.
Again, Schultz is coached by Ryan Dolan, and Joseph from East Peoria is coached by Phil Johns. And East Peoria pulled a big upset in the regional, upset Washington, and just a great environment down there. Two schools are kind of natural rivals anyways. And Washington had a couple injuries and were highly ranked and looking forward to doing some things. And East Peoria's kids on that day got the job done. So I'll represent in the team duels on Tuesday, which we'll get a chance to talk about here in a little bit, I hope.
Right.
Schultz in on a reshot. Schultz much more active, like you said, than we've seen him earlier during the day, which is good. It means he's got a nice game plan in order to get some stuff done for him. In on another shot. We're inside 20 seconds. And he's been in that position 3 or 4 times and just hasn't been able to score.
Right. Well, Schultz is really using what Joseph wants to get in tight. He wants to be chest to chest. He wants to maul him. And Schultz, every time that Joseph tries to press, Schultz drops and creates an angle and really gets a scoring opportunity. So he hasn't been able to convert yet, but he's got a great game plan here.
Yeah, we'll put you in Schultz's corner as his coach. He's hit his best move 4 times, come close to scoring, but hasn't scored. Now, you going to have him stick with that or maybe switch off to something else?
Well, I think he's, they've probably scouted it and been able to see where they think that opportunity. I think they're going to look for a setup. He's got to be a little bit better on the setup and can lead to the opportunity. Here's a great job on the bottom. So again, he gets his first ever important elusive first point.
And again, we talk about that. The big reason is if you ever go to the ultimate tiebreaker, you'll get your choice if you've got the first point.
There's
Joseph finally in on his
right,
shot.
Absolutely.
Like you said, he needs to get going a little bit and use his best technique, and he looks a little tentative out there so far.
Well, he did a great job there. He crowded Schultz and didn't give him a chance to reshot and keep him off his game, and boom, he went right to that nice high crotch and with a nice finish and takes a 2-1 lead.
And he basically cuts him there. We'll go to 2-2. Again, East Peoria program on the rise down there in Central Illinois, and I got to give credit to credit's due. They've got some administrators down there. Chuck Nagel, I don't know if you remember Chuck from Clinton, and he's done a nice job of promoting the program. And then Phil Johns has just done a tremendous job with the kids. We wrestled them in a duel, and there's probably 500 people there, and for our area, that's huge.
Absolutely.
They wrestled Washington in a duel, and like I said, big rivalry. There might have been 1,000 people there, so like I said, real interesting things going down there at East Peoria.
That's another nice reshot by Schultz. Now he's right back on that game plan he was on first period.
And Joseph's so athletic and such strong through the hips and thighs, and he bails out, still 2-2. A big point to get here, Coach, if he get to his feet right away and stay in the match. Right away comes through off the reach. He does give him the one escape. That kind of surprised McGee a little bit.
Yeah, and Vince tried to switch it up there and plan a different attack. Good job there.
See, here's where McGee has his problems, and you take away his quickness and slow the match down. And it's 4-3. We're just about a minute in the second period. We talked about a little earlier as far as scouting and stuff. How much do coaches, I know you guys had quite a crew over there at Montini, what do coaches do, or what do they look for when they scout kids' favorite moves, different maneuvers they use? What are you looking for?
Well, good wrestlers are multi-dimensional, and they can do different things. But obviously, as human beings, we're all creatures of habit. So, you look at stances, you look at various points in the match when, kids will go to various things when they get into crunch time, so to speak. Oh, there's a great reshot there.
No points yet.
Good scramble by Vince Turk.
Yeah, tremendous job of staying up.
And so those kind of things, and basically what you want to be able to do. And some schools are program schools. When you wrestle certain schools, you're going to see a different, a type of turn or a tilt. When you wrestle Lombard North, you're going to prepare for the Villa Lombard cradle, and you're gonna do a lot of different things. When we used to wrestle in Class A, Sandwich was a big chin wrench team, and we used to have to drill that a lot. And Dakota was a big wing team, and all those things. And coaches see those things, and teaching techniques and being able to get out of those techniques, that's really what scouting comes down to.
Okay, then McGee's going to choose bottom. He leads 4-3 here at third. And the next question would be, once you see their things that they're going to do, how much do you adjust? In other words, you got a boy, his best move happens to be something. You say, nah, don't look for that. Go on and try something else instead. Or do you tell them?
Well, that's the tricky part, because you can't change. You want to still do what you do best. That's number one thing. But you have to, change the setup a little bit. Or you have to, tweak something here or there. And this is a great job by Turk. Now, this is where this match could be in his advantage. He's pretty good on top here, and he's, again, within striking distance where he wants to be in the third period.
And McGee usually doesn't like to go on the bottom. Against Baldridge, he chose neutral because he didn't want to go underneath.
Right.
And so we're minute and 37. He's got still the 1-point lead. Basically, he's got to get turned in order to lose. Again, nice hip ride. I really like the way some of these kids ride the hips, because we don't see that much in Illinois.
Right.
My son coaches over in Iowa, and over there they just ride the heck out of you on top. Not so much of the feet action that we see so much here in our state.
Well, that's something that we talk about a lot, and when we, do get a chance to get out to other tournaments in Ohio and, wrestle those kind of schools, sometimes the referees allow them to wrestle on top. And then you get into that philosophical question, why don't we have what I would call a proportionate number of All-Americans at the collegiate level? Well, I think part of it is because, we're not really allowed to wrestle on the mat as much as some of these other states are, and I think that's a fact if you look at that.
I agree 100%. In college, it's basically get on top and just look for the riding time points. Right. A match and be tough, and our kids aren't used to it, and they don't do a good job of getting away off the bottom, and they don't have that advantage of being able to.
Now, it's going to be interesting to see when Turk is going to cut him here. He's down to 43 seconds. And, I think he's got to be.
Because he stayed tight to the hips, but he really hasn't put him in danger.
He's got to cut him here. He's got to cut him here.
Because we're at 30. McGee's doing a great job of shortening the match.
Now we're going to get to our feet. So Turk has shortened the match here. He's got one chance to, get a takedown to send it in overtime, and he hasn't really shown
McGee did a nice job of bailing out to the circle. He's got 17. Let's see if he can get to a shot here. I haven't seen, like you said, anything really open up for him.
No.
Yeah, he forced a blast shot in there. Couldn't get the head through the arms. And we're inside 10. 7 seconds left. See if he can get one more. It'd have to be just a drive and hope type of situation. E.J. McKee from Rock Island will get his first state title after you just talked about coming so close a couple different times. In a great match, Vince Turk gave him all he wanted. 5-3 is the final score. And Turk, only being a sophomore, we got to look forward to seeing him down here hopefully for the next couple years also.
Absolutely. Great match. And, McGahee had a little bit of power there. That nice blast double in the middle of the match there. I think that was the difference, and that's, I think, a little bit of a senior to sophomore advantage right there, and that can't happen in wrestling. So the wrestling coaches really have to do their homework, so to speak, and I think that's why grades and that character really plays a big part.
It's always good to hear, and hopefully we've got some people listening to us tonight whose goal is to be able to do that. So the bottom line is be a good person and work hard in school.
Well, that's a great lesson. So here we go with this match.
Montini's he'll be with the M on the side of his singlet, and Kennedy, he's in the plain black. And we're just starting here. Our head referee's Jeff Bowers. Jeff out of Bloomington, Illinois. He's assisted by Jack Williams out of DeKalb.
Two good referees for this match here, and this is the type of match. I know last week Cameron Kennedy scored first with a takedown in the first period, and Lassiter scored late with 2 takedowns and won the match in the third period. So let's see. I don't know if either one of them will adjust with that.
Well, they've had a week to look at it and figure it out, and both of them have solid coaching staffs. So I'm sure they both come up with what you would call a game plan, what they'd like to accomplish. Now we'll see if the kids are able to accomplish it.
Absolutely.
We're at a minute left in the first period.
I saw a warm-up shirt there on Cam Kennedy and, the factory. And anyone that's from the northern part of Illinois, one of the great feeder programs, that has obviously the Kennedy brothers and the Ramoses for a while, and a lot of those other, great champions we've had come out of the wrestling factory up in northern Illinois.
Well, that's just it. We talk about that all the time. What makes kids good, and the reason we had such success is it's been great academies up there. Overtime, I think, started it. Got the standards set very high as far as, come here and we can teach you and we'll have success. And others have built off that. Now you've got a lot of them up there in order to help you produce your better wrestlers and get, like you've talked about, give them some time on the mat.
Absolutely.
Quality time, I guess, is the important part where they're actually learning some things.
Absolutely.
And that's the end of our first period. We'll go 0-0 here. And we'll see that, like I said, in a couple weeks at the IKWF, where these kids are all so well schooled as far as what they need to do and what they need to accomplish their state tournament. Lassiter takes the bottom. Again, we've talked about the importance of the first point possibly.
This is the type of match where that could really come down, to something like that, because these two young men are so evenly matched.
How would you like it as a wrestler to have to wrestle the same boy again instead of somebody new that you don't know? Is it advantage, disadvantage, or what do you think on that?
Mindset is very important. One of my right-hand man is my assistant for many years, John Jewiakowski. He always had the revenge match theory, and he was right probably about 99% of the time. It's very difficult. The old adage, it's difficult to beat a kid twice, especially within a week or two. And, so it's been done, obviously, and it can be done. Some people look at it and say, well, now I have the confidence. I know I can beat this kid. But it depends on how you look at it. But it's very difficult. And, again, it's just another variable that you have to try to control as much as you can as a coach, and certainly as a competitor. How do I deal with that emotion, that I'm very familiar with this opponent?
Well, that's just it. Too many people think coaching's just, teach them a double and things like that. They don't understand maybe I'll just make up 60% of it's mentally getting these kids so that they can, or they're willing and able to do that, and they have confidence in what they're doing. And that's the hardest part about the coaching. And again, Kennedy's doing a great job of riding him. We're inside 45 seconds left in the second period, and he's really working hard on the wrists and the ankles in order to keep him moving.
No doubt about it. We also we see in the corner head coach Brett Wojcik from Richmond Burton, and Brett was a young man that wrestled at Lombard East High School, and I coached against him when he was in high school, and he's had great success up in that Richmond Burton program.
Wow.
He's done a real good job.
He's got one of my all-time favorites wrestled up there, Jordan Blatton.
Yep.
Still here at the U of I, and
Yep.
hopefully going to finish off his career real well in the next couple weeks. And then Jack Dekow wrestled
Yep.
for him also up there. So, yeah, they've had some real nice teams. And Kennedy seems no different. Very well schooled as far as doing some stuff.
This is a big part of this match here. The great ride here by Kennedy. That's a big advantage now
If you
here.
can ride him out, it'd be huge. We're inside 5 seconds right now and left in the match. Or left in the period, excuse me.
Well, this match has taken on a real different tone than the one last week, I should say, in the sectional. 0-0, much tighter match. Now Laster elects to cut him right there.
And Kennedy in on a nice shot. Controlling the elbow against the front headlock now. Laster needs to use his quickness maybe a little bit more. Kennedy's doing a nice job of slowing him down.
Well, Kennedy does, obviously you could see some college wrestling in his bloodline. He does a great job with the hands, hand control.
Oh, his brother Jimmy was a great wrestler in college, and I was fortunate enough to watch him do a lot of freestyle and Greco stuff with Team Illinois, and he did really well. Again, we're inside a minute and a half, and Kennedy leads 1-0 and doing a good job of controlling Laster's hand and wrist so he can't get out of and move him too much. Kennedy just shoots that straight-on shot and basically just says, I'll try and scramble once I'm in there. I'm not going to finish it initially.
Right.
But try and scramble from there. Minute left, minute and 2. And like you talked about, totally different match from last time.
Yep.
Kennedy controlling the hand. Look at Kennedy's left hand. Right now he switched it to the right, trying to control the wrist.
Locked here.
He's in on a shot. Let's see if we can get the whizzer in and see what's going to happen here. We're at 40 seconds left in the match. Kennedy's trying to keep a tight whizzer in with his left hand, and Laster's running to try and spin behind him.
Now Laster's putting that foot up on his thigh there. He's shelving that there, and he's trying to work out. And there he ends up getting the 2.
2-1, inside 30 seconds. I'll see if he can ride him out to win the match. Trying to slide the leg in, it looks like.
Yeah.
Kennedy needs to maybe get a fresh start. Oh, a scramble position.
A step over situation for Kennedy. He's got to get his hips
trying to scramble inside 10. Maybe should stand and just try and get the 1. Laster looks like he's going to hold on. We're inside 5. Oh, big thing at the edge.
Oh, he gave him the 2 at the edge.
Unbelievable. After I just miscalled that, said looked like he was going to hold on. Kennedy hit him with the hips and got it moving.
That's a great job there.
Just
Cam Kennedy to win that
match to watch. Winner 3-2, Cam Kennedy out of Richmond Burton. So again, I guess you always wrestle at the end of the match. Here I am, the announcer, saying it looks good for him, and boy, just kept playing and playing.
A lot of people kind of tabbed this bracket as one of the ones that was kind of up for grabs.
Exactly.
Anything could go, and these 2 young men, to their credit, they're here.
Yep. Again, Centennial Boy will be in the light blue with the white on the bottom. Boy from Springfield will be in the darker singlet with the white stripes, and Taborn's in on a shot right away. And a lot of hip pressure from the boy from Centennial. Centennial's got another one of those programs like you talked about earlier. They don't have enough kids out for the team to have a super dual meet team, but the kids he has, he does a nice job of coaching.
You could tell both of these young men, Taborn and Wynn, are both, physical specimens. They both look very powerful and have great explosion. I think we could see a couple of big moves one way or the other in this match.
In Springfield High, they did win their regional down there, and they'll move into the team sectional. They'll wrestle Bloomington. And again, that's kind of a unique situation. I talked earlier about the Gardners, coaching down in Springfield years ago. Well, Mark, one of their sons, is the coach there at Bloomington High School. So there'd be some little family things going on, I'm sure, with them. Again, we're still neutral. John Churchill's the head referee out there at 132 pounds, and Bob Culbertson's working with him.
Hey, what's going on? How's everything?
Place winners at 126 pounds. Please report to the award.
45 seconds left first period, and so far not as much action as maybe I thought we'd see.
They started out a little bit. There was a good flurry or 2, and now they're kind of settled in a little bit.
There we go. So he leads 2-0. Only a junior now, the boy from Springfield High.
Randall's up 2-0 here with 35 seconds. So obviously, riding this and finishing this period with a 2-point advantage is huge.
Yep, he's on his feet, wins up, does mat return. And nice again, we talk about that hip pressure, riding real solid with the hips and trying for the tilt off of it. Got a 1 count, but nothing else. Wind rolls through. tries to lock up the head, and again spins out, and he's going to get the point late to 2-1. And they'll go off the mat, so we're at 4 seconds left. And we'll go to the second period, 2-1 in favor of Taborn from Springfield High School. Centennial defer, and Springfield will take the bottom.
George Fisher.
Wynn's working that near arm. You got his hips busted down on the mat, so he's looking for an opportunity to try to shorten this period.
Again, that's always the big thing when you're on top. Ride up there for as long as possible. If you have to get the turn, that's fine, but you didn't there. Taborn with the escape, and he'll lead 3-1. In the past, nice spin behind there. Just kind of used his quickness in order to get down there. I think Taborn got himself a little out of position. And 3-3 with 1:20 left in our second period. And then there's the escape. Right away, Taborn's on the offensive. He leads 4-3 now. And again, we mentioned Springfield High. They'd be part of the duels on Tuesday night. And the other part of the bracket, we already looked at the bottom part of the bracket where the top 4 seeded or ranked teams are located down there. So the top part's kind of wide open. Bloomington and Springfield will be in one part of it. The winner in the quarters will wrestle either East Peoria or Geneseo, which should be a nice duel. That's the second part of the one up in Rochelle on Tuesday night. Taborn with a takedown there to lead 6-3. And then the other part of that bracket, Amundsen and Antioch. And the winner of that would wrestle Bowen and Riverside. So somebody that's going to come out of there, maybe not one of the more formal types of teams that we usually see in the Final Four. So it should be a great situation. Again, Tuesday night's the first round. Saturday's the quarters, semis, and finals. And come to IHSA TV and you'll be able to watch them. We'll have A, AA, and AAA. Win with the escape inside 20 seconds, 6-4, and he's in on a nice shot. See if he can stay in bounds to score.
He needed to try to swing those legs, especially being on the edge there, and he wasn't able to do it.
He gives up to 2.
But that was a big point right there. A great job of counter wrestling by Randall Taborn. He did an excellent job there to score it on the edge. That's a big difference in the match now to 8-4 lead.
8-4, third period. Just kind of a mistake there for Wynn. Didn't quite get it done.
An injury time situation.
Yeah, that's one thing we really haven't had on our map much tonight's the injury time. And again, so that our fans would understand, you get first injury time is a free one for you. You get up to 1 minute and 30 seconds total. Second time you'd happen to take one if you needed it. Time would still run down to you've used the 1 minute and 30, but then the other boy gets his choice as far as position he wants to go to. So bottom line is you really don't want to use that second injury time.
Right. And I think he was needed to use a puffer there for looked like he had maybe some asthma.
That's always tough for kids as far as you never know. I mean, I don't have the asthma and stuff, but it's got to be horrible not to be able to breathe during a big match. Again, we're third period, Wynn trails 8-4. He's got to get moving here. He's got to get a lot of things done in the next 2 minutes to win this match. Taborn should just try and slow it down, just get on top and stay in good body position and just milk the clock.
Yeah, Randall's doing an excellent job here. Now Wynn's is in a step over possibility here. He wants to try to scissors those hips and he gets reversal back.
Okay, now you're Wynn's coach. You gonna stay on him and try and pin him, or you?
Well, he hasn't demonstrated the ability to ride or turn here. I got to put him back on his feet here, and he's going to have to get 2 takedowns, and I think time is ticking off the clock right here.
Taborn's not going to do anything off the bottom. He knows he's got that lead, so he's just going to lay there and make him force something on him. We're at 1 minute left in the match right now.
Yeah, I think he's got to get to his feet right now. He's got to let him go to his feet right now.
There you go, 9-6. We're at 54 seconds. So you're right. He's got to really get on his horse here. He's got to either take him down to his back or take him down twice to tie it. So he's got to get moving here in the last 54 seconds. if it's me, I like Taborn. I'd get in on a shot just to protect myself because he's been pretty solid at getting in on his shots.
Yeah, with a 3-point lead, he could afford to do that. He can still open up, and right now.
Okay, we're at 30 seconds left. Wynn again needs 2 takedowns to tie this. And Taborn's doing a great job. He's just going to sit there at the edge and milk the clock, and if he gets in trouble, he'll step out, similar to that. 20 seconds left.
And unfortunately, I think Wynn let that clock wind down a little bit too far. He really here he gets the 1 takedown, and now he's only got 15 seconds left here. If he'd have started that, now he's in deep there.
Shot.
Great job, great flurry.
We're at 7 seconds left. Again, he'll get 1 more quick shot. And again, Taborn hasn't been warned for stalling. He's got a 2-point lead anyway. Boy, I'd be running to the edge of that circle.
That's where he's just got to, again, he needed to start that a little bit sooner. He cut him with under a minute there, and it just wasn't enough time.
Yeah, you called it at the time. You said that he wasn't going to be able to have time. And so he's your champion at 132 pounds from Springfield High School. Randall Taborn. Randall only a junior, so he'll be back again next year and win a senior. He's going to go out as a second-place finisher there. And, Coach, we're going to have a great one here at 138. And we'll introduce him here to you real quick and then maybe take a break. Looking at what they've got a couple solid freshmen this year who won them down here wrestling. Randy Manyweather at 132. Their other boy is a 120-pounder, Ryder Punky, who would have been here, got hurt right before the regional. So their future's bright. He's got some young kids coming up. So again, we'll just let you watch this one. This should be a lot of fun, should be a lot of action if they both show us the way they've done things in the past. Again, easy to tell who's who. Gladwell's got the W on his side, and Garcia's got the M on his, and Garcia also has the gold stripe on the side of his.
Right. You got some action flying already here.
Yep, this one should be a lot of fun if they keep this up for the full 6 minutes. And now they're in a tie position. Looks like they're both maybe resting a little bit. Not a lot of feet movement, a lot of wrist grabbing and things like that. Gladwell's in on the Russian. So 1 minute and 25 seconds left in the first period. Our head referee here is Ron Coit. Ron's working with Roy Schneider. Garcia on a shot.
That's his specialty. He really loves that single shot.
Oh, that's a nice reach. He got his hip out and got the leg locked, and Gladwell was able to get out of bounds. And Gladwell doing a nice job controlling the elbow. And we're inside a minute in the first period.
Well, Gladwell looks like he's does a real good job. He's been very physical so far. Start this match, and he's
And from watching him throughout the course of the years, he's active on his feet when he wants to, but he really likes to be on top of you. He can do a lot of neat things with tips and legs and so on. So we'll see what happens here. We're inside 45 seconds left, second period. Just to give you an example of the tournaments that these kids go to, I'm looking at Garcia's thing. Been to the Ironman, the Dvorak, Cheesehead, and the Clash. And 4 of the top tournaments throughout the country. And we got to brag up our Dvorak tournament a little bit. That's our big tournament in the state of Illinois. Mick Torres runs it up there to Harlem High School. And it's just unbelievable. We go up every year to broadcast it and have a lot of fun and get to see some of the best wrestling, not only in our state, but they bring in kids from other states in order to compete there.
Absolutely. And again, that's just something that I commend those teams that still go year after year. And, sometimes people take their lumps up there, but that, it weathers you and seasons you, grizzles you, for this run at the end of the year.
Well,
And you see those teams year after year.
The big thing, if I'm a kid, boy, looking at that stuff, gee, I'd like to be part of that, get to go to those top tournaments and so on. So it's got to be a thrill for these kids to be able to do it. We're inside 5 seconds left in the first period.
It's interesting, Kevin, one of the things that, obviously still being tied into the Montini program, John Javikovsky and I were helping out last week up at the sectional, or he was filling out some bios and we were talking. And here's a stat for you. Now, you mentioned the tournaments. Montini attends the Ironman tournament, the Cheesehead, the Dvorak, and of course the Clash. Out of all these kids that wrestle for Montini this year, and obviously a lot of them are having success down here, they've only won 2 individual tournament championships the entire year. Now that takes
they're going to have
lot.
More state titles.
Well,
than those.
absolutely, absolutely. And they don't have we don't wrestle a conference tournament, and so again, you're really putting your kids through a meat grinder, and that's a tough situation.
Gladwell's got the leg in and that half buried.
Garcia wants to swim through there. That's a big score for him.
Well, I almost laughed at some unknowledgeable wrestling people. They look at me and say, hey, that kid's got 10, 12 losses. I said, well, yeah, but he's from Montini. He's not exactly wrestling, some of these local types of tournaments and so on. And right away, Gladwell gets warned on the bottom for just laying there, so now he builds to his feet and going to be a little more active. Garcia locks up on the leg. If nothing else, just take a stalemate from there. Just basically be content to sort. No, he's not. He's going to switch to the double and gets himself in a little trouble by that, but they go out of bounds.
Very nice scramble there with both guys.
So we're at 58 seconds left. Garcia leads 2-0. Now coach tells him to cut him. They're going to go on their feet 2-1. Again, we saw a lot of scrambling and moving in that first period. Not many points, but that's still, they're putting themselves in position to score at least.
Well, I'm really impressed with Gladwell. I mean, he does a real good job. He obviously has an understanding of, body position and scrambling. He's been very impressive so far here.
So we're at 43 seconds actually in the second period. Both coaches doing a little bit of coaching. I like that coaches in big matches. Get up and talk to your kids, because that's one of my biggest problems with wrestling rule coaches. They make you sit in your seat. What other sport are you supposed to coach your kid and just sit down and watch him?
Right.
Would you do that in football? Just sit on the bench and watch?
No, exactly. That's part of the thing. You're right, and that's something that, unfortunately, we seem to have a few of those rules and restraints in the sport of wrestling, which,
So it's always, that's been one of my pet peeves forever. You should be able to coach your kid. Maybe they got that line there, stand behind it if you need to, but you should at least be able to get up and do something with them. But Garcia's got it down to 15 seconds left. Gladwell's on his knees trying to control the elbow. Gladwell looks to be more than content just to get a stalemate. Garcia's still trying to move him to score. And we're going to end the period 2-1 in favor of Garcia. Gladwell take bottom. And Garcia, Coach Martinez right away tells him to cut him. He's confident being there on their feet. So it's 2-2 now, 2 minutes to go.
Well, he's going to try to win the match where he feels he's best, and that's on his feet. So
same deal, and he's been coming at Gladwell quite a bit. Let's see if Gladwell can, I call it weather the storm, as we've used that term before. See if he's tough enough to handle this in the last 145.
Well, he's shown me that he's taken everything, and I think he's.
Coach Martinez is really on Garcia. Go after him. Well, Gladwell is in on a shot here. We'll see if he can finish it. What do you teach the boy to do when you're in Gladwell's position? You got your head between his legs, locked on one leg.
Well, right here, he's trying to push the head out, push the thigh over the head. And he's trying to circle and hook. Now in this position here, when I'm under, sometimes I always like to try an old-fashioned, finish. I like power finishes, and that's something I've always enjoyed.
Because that's a tough position when you're in on a shot with that head between the legs. Not really a whole lot you can do to score.
Right.
But we're 2-2 with 1:10 left in the match.
And that's something I think that as our Illinois kids have gotten better, that's what you see, is the ability to scramble and stop those kind of shots when someone does go. There's a big position right here.
Yep. We're at 54 seconds left in the match. Gladwell controlling the elbow. Again, that's the one thing I've noticed these good kids do quite a bit. Boy, they get that elbow under control and make it real hard for you to score off spinning or shucking you, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
We'll see who gets to their shot next here. Gladwell's in on another shot, head between the legs again.
Yeah. Now see, he can step up here, okay, and try to power through. You know, he used to teach here or just pop one leg. He's a little bit deep now. Garcia wants to keep his chest very, very tight to his small of his back right there. But when you get in that position, it's kind of like a front headlock position. The way we used to coach that is the longer you wait, the less chance you have of scoring.
Exactly.
You really have to score.
We used to call the front headlock a 5-second position. If you haven't scored in 5 seconds, you're basically not going to do much with it.
Gladwell's in on another shot. He's being the aggressor here in the end of the third period. Now Garcia's in a pretty good scramble position here.
Gladwell just got to keep that leg up by his shoulder. Ooh. Again, we're inside 5 right now. Gladwell's got to keep that leg up on the other side of the head. Garcia's doing everything possible.
If Garcia can hook that leg, boy, he was very close to it.
He worked at it real hard. We'll go to overtime here. And I believe Gladwell's been warned for stalling, so this could come into play here. He got warned right away when he was on the bottom.
Right.
Gladwell looks like he's trying to rest a little bit, maybe.
Overtime is on man 2.
Well, again,
he changed off, got into a single leg instead of the head between the legs. Nice whizzer by Garcia.
Garcia is trying to work that edge
he's
there.
Trying to score off of Garcia off the whizzer instead of just staying neutral. He's got a leg
get that leg out now. If he can extend him here, that's another thing.
Nice job. 27 seconds left in the match. In the overtime, excuse me. We're still 2-2.
Gladwell's really done a good job here. Both these guys have really wrestled hard. Been a lot of action.
Again, if I'm Garcia, I might want to force it here because Gladwell's looked to be a little bit more confident on a mat. Oh, there's Gladwell running to it. Garcia trying to keep the leg, keep the sit out. We're inside 5 seconds. All right, now we'll go to the first part.
I would think it does. I would think it favors Gladwell. You know, now that the match is going to be basically wrestled on the mat, I do think it does favor him.
Okay, for those who don't understand, we'll go to 2 30-second periods. Cumulative score would win. Gladwell won the flip and deferred. Do you like doing that, or you like taking your choice right away?
I like to defer in that position because, you know, you never know what's going to happen if something catastrophic happens and
you know what you want,
need a throw or you need something like that. I think that's an important aspect too.
And if I remember correctly, Garcia did get the first point, so he would have choice if they do go to the ultimate tiebreaker.
That's 2 starts on Gladwell.
That's silly on Gladwell's part.
Well, the first one I could understand. That one was kind of sloppy, and now you sure hate to give up a point in this situation.
Just got to relax and cover him correctly. Take your time. Because you're right, it'd be a tough one here to give up a point off that. That'd really mess up your game plan. Garcia's on his feet. Nice mat return. Landed in the sit-out position. Gladwell chased the arm and controlled it. Now he's got a mat returning.
Nice lift.
Whoa. Again, nothing intentional there. They just got themselves moving in the wrong way. Oh, no. Okay, he's saying he saw something we didn't see from up here. But
well, the only thing I can see is they were definitely out of bounds, and I think he initiated a hip action into the chair there, you know. And again, you never know with those things. We don't have instant replay here or anything, but you know, as you go off the edge, I mean, you know, that's a good
different color mat, so you knew where you were.
Yeah.
Ronnie Coit's a great referee, and he called it right away. So. But he's down. He definitely hit that chair pretty hard.
Well, this was always one of the toughest spots, you know, as a coach, because, you know, your initial reaction is you want to teach your young men how to be tough and do the right thing and fight through it. But at the same time, you don't want to cost your wrestler an opportunity. If they're not going to be 100% and be able to go back in their battle, why should you take something out of their hands? And that's why with the advent now of there's the IHSA doctor who's right on the scene there, and he doesn't look like he's going to let this continue.
Again, tough way to win and lose a match, but like we said, you believe the referee made the right call, and I'm not going to disagree. It was one of those things there, that chair's 10 to 12 feet off the mat, and his head hit it, so.
Yeah, and obviously, Colton Gladwell meant no harm, not intentional. He's wrestling hard, and it's a tough situation for both young men. I can tell you right now, Chris Garcia does not want to win that way,
Oh, 100%.
And he doesn't have a choice. But Colton Gladwell, I mean, you just you really bleed for him, because obviously, we teach kids to be aggressive and wrestle hard, and that's what he did, and he just lost track of where he was at. Michael had a terrible accident. He was actually in Indiana with an all-star dual team, and with a bunch of Illinois boys, and he got hit by a truck. And was in critical condition and suffered a lot of damage to his hip, and had to have a hip replacement, and he has actually still a steel rod right now. He's very lucky that he's walking, let alone wrestling, a season later. So he's really fought and come back from a lot, to be here his senior season.
And we'll just let you watch a lot of this, because this just should be a lot of fun, too. We call them, at least I call them grinders. They're just going to come hard for 6 minutes and see what happens. And I really like this boy from Canelan. We got a chance to watch him last week at the sectional. Very well coached. They do a nice job with him as far as, hey, take it to him, and make something happen.
Right. Well, I like him. I like Dan Goris. He's got the great old school Canelan singlet on there. That's one of the better singlets I've seen tonight. That's awesome.
Again, a lot of movement. We'll go out of bounds. Nothing. Minute and 8 seconds left. Yeah, they tell me Goris also played football, was the captain of their football team up there, and wrestled in grade school for the Knights Wrestling Club, which is the local one there in Canelan.
Their football program is very strong up in Canelan. They've put together 3-4 years of outstanding teams up there, that's for sure.
Well, that's the one thing you've got as we watch this. Montini, a nice thing. Wrestling program, top notch. Again, brag yourself up a little bit. Your football program, what have you guys accomplished there in the last few years?
The big thing is, we've been fortunate and have won some state titles, but, Chris Andriano's been our head football coach for 35 years now. And both of Chris's sons wrestled for me. And Chris loves wrestling, and I had a great situation, and Israel still has that situation where he believes in wrestling. And not only does he allow, but he encourages and sometimes forces, football players to wrestle. And when you have that, they go hand in hand, and that's been a big part of the success of our wrestling program over the years.
Well, because see, that's why I brought up the point, because I sit in the coach's hospitality room at some of these tournaments, state tournaments, no different. And I hear more coaches, and I use the word complain, that they don't get the support from their football staff.
Right.
And I just want to show, hey, you got a football team that does well in the state level, win state championships. You got a wrestling team that can do the same thing. So maybe more football coaches ought to support their wrestling programs in order to help them out and help the football team out, actually, too.
Absolutely.
No score there in the first period. Nope. We'll go to the second period.
Both guys were active here, and they're just, both I think are... Oh, good
nice
job here.
Danny
Goris comes up quick.
And right away in on a shot, too. Sepke battles, gets the whizzer in. Again, this is a match we expected. Just two kids just competing hard. And
I'm looking at both these kids. I don't think that they're going to have much problem with a gas tank in the third period.
At least when I saw the boy from Canelan last week, he didn't. He came to play for the whole 6 minutes. And Sepke's, I remember him basically is the same way. So, in fact, Sepke, I would think I watched his semifinal match. He was against a boy from Ridgewood, maybe, and he basically just wore the boy out in the third period.
Right.
Down a little bit and just kept coming and coming. Ended up getting scoring it towards the end to win the match. Again, 1-0, just over a minute left in the period, second period for us.
We walked into a shot there. Goris with a really nice shot.
Came hard after.
And with a conversion on a takedown. Very good job by Danny Goris there.
That goes back to your geometry theory, right? Never walk straight, take your angles. It's 3-0, big ride out here. This would be huge if he could ride him out and get through the period. Nothing else to bail out and get out of bounds there, yep. Big part of the match here. 32 seconds left.
Absolutely.
If Forrest could ride him out, be huge, take that 3-point lead into the third period.
He got his hips down once here, did an excellent job.
Our referees here. Ray Wyneth out of Libertyville, and Bob Culbertson's working with him out of Vandalia.
That's actually, it looks like Jack Wiesneth out there. I don't know.
Wiesneth, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My fault. Yeah, because that's what they gave us on our list.
Oh, they got a stalling call at the end, but he does not get a point. And that's a great job by Goris here to get out of that second period with a 3-point lead. That's going to put a lot of pressure here on Michael Sepke in the third period.
He's got to escape, take him down just to get tied off the deal, and we'll see what would happen after that. But 2 minutes left, 3-0.
All 138-pound place winners should be in the awards area at this time.
Again, nice ankle wrap, tight waist, and it's going to be tough for Sepke to score unless he can get his hips moving a little bit.
At the conclusion of all the matches, there will be a championship picture taking of all.
He needs to climb it here.
1A, 2A, and 3A. So all the state champions will come back for one more picture.
He's telling him, he said, you be more active for me up there. We're 1:31 left, 3-0. Because the stall call would be huge here.
Well, it changes a lot of things, and if I'm Goris, I don't want to lock that ankle and sit on it.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's what happens when you don't do that. So now Sepke's to his feet, and he's got to work here to...
And here's where both of them have won matches in the tournament.
Absolutely.
The last minute and a half, just wearing the guy out and going after him.
Absolutely.
You can see Kanelin's coaches over there telling him, go after him, go after him.
Well, he's gotten the lead because he's been aggressive, and they certainly don't want him to change what he's doing now. They don't want to give an opportunity to get any kind of fire for Sepke.
We're at a minute coming up right now. We're at a minute left in the match. Other coaches are just yelling at Goris to go after him.
Right.
Because they don't want the stall call to totally change the complexion of the match.
Sepke wants to attack his left leg. That's his best shot. He's trying to elbow past that and get that set up.
We're at 35 seconds left in the match. Sepke, there he shot at the left leg. We're at 25 seconds left.
There's that stalling point with 13 seconds. He did it. Now that was a great move by Goris there to work to the edge.
Right there. Yep,
absolutely a great move
inside
right there.
5.
Great job.
Sepke's going to get one more chance, and it's not going to come through for him.
Great job by Danny Goris.
Oh, just a fun match to watch for me because I really appreciate that kind of stuff. Just two kids who just going to come and play for 6 minutes. So yeah, Dan Goris, a senior out of Maple Park, Canelan. He beats Michael Sepke, also a senior out of Montini. And that's our 145-pound state champion. And we'll have a little bit of time here because the other matches still have some time left. So we'll get you to 152. And talking about football players, I got a chance to watch Murphy play quarterback for them this year a couple times. And he was a lot of fun to watch. They basically just snapped him the ball and let him be creative sometimes.
Well, I tell you what, we had the fortune or misfortune of playing against Lincoln Way East this year in week 2. And, you know, I've never seen a 150-pound kid dominate a football game the way Langendorfer did that day. He was all over the field, and boy, was he special. We
got some athletes. So if you kind of followed with us, Colton's 43-0, Sutton's 37-0, Langendorfer's 42-0, and Murphy's 37-1.
Yeah,
so there's some talent out here.
Pretty good guys out here.
But we'll get you to our AA match. Both of them wearing black singlets. Probably the easiest way for you to tell, Sutton would be in the red shoes. And right away, an early takedown
from
for
Colton.
Colton, so he leads 2-0.
Oh, they wave it off. No
Okay.
takedown.
Again, talked to his assistant referee. Didn't think he had established control as they go out of bounds. So we'll go starting on our feet. Bill Honeycutt's in charge here.
Kenny
He's working
Watkins
with
is
Kenny,
working
yeah.
as the assistant.
Colton just is so strong through his hips. It's really good to watch him do things.
Right. Garrett Sutton has put together a pretty dominating tournament here. He's got 2 tech falls and a pin on his way to the finals, and Austin Colton's got 2 pins and a major decision. So these guys are definitely the cream of the crop here.
And the rest of
152-pound bracket.
those schedules these kids do, to be undefeated, it's going to be tough. I mean, there's no doubt you've had to wrestle a lot of quality times and go through and beat some good people. So be undefeated in the state finals, you've had a really exceptional year. In on a shot again is Sutton. Turning a little bit of scramble. Colton tries to throw him and couldn't quite get it done. 46 seconds left in the period. Okay, here we go. Again, in a tie-up situation, both of them trying to slow it down. And it's not like some of those other matches where we see those real quick kids flying around. These are going to be a little bit more like we saw maybe in that last one, where they're just going to come at you and come at you and see if they can make something happen and get tough and score.
The award winners at 145 pounds, please report to the awards area. Award winners at 145 pounds.
Colton's very, very, very quick counter wrestler.
Yes, he is.
He's done an excellent job anytime that Sutton has extended himself trying to shoot.
16 seconds left in the period. And we'll go to the end of the first period. Nothing again. Here's where the coin flip will come into play for us. Red chooses down. Again, we always talk about he should be able to get his point. Well, that doesn't always occur.
Right.
Sometimes in my mind, sometimes it's almost better to take neutral as far as stuff goes if you don't think he can get away. But general consensus is take that bottom and get the point when you can.
Well, Colton comes up right away to that high single.
And bails out, and he's going to get him one. So it's
right. Looks like we might have a little blood time here.
Yeah, we've been fortunate tonight. We haven't seen much blood time or injury time. Again, the blood time deals basically you get unlimited times, 5 minutes total time, in order to get the blood stopped. And then once they have to clean up, you're off the clock. And this always messes up the flow of the match for the kids. And it makes it real hard when this consistently happens.
Yeah, and it's really tough on both guys, to be honest with you.
Yep.
You know, you get into that match, and now your mind starts wandering and drifting again, and, you know, that's a tough situation.
Well, while we got some time here, I guess we need to recognize a lot of the volunteers and help they've got down here. All weekend long, we've run 6 mats. Quality help at each mat. They have 5, 6 people and stuff. The trainers, countless ones down here, again, working for them. At the weigh-ins, takes all kinds of efforts. And then Craig Anderson does just a great job of running this and coordinating it. I know Dan Fulcher's in charge of the officials, which isn't a real easy job either. Matt Troyo is in charge of the media part, and boy, he makes our job awful easy as far as getting the spots, supplying us everything we need. So just a great run tournament. You don't really appreciate those things till they affect you in some way. So you really got to step out to these kids. We're back wrestling 1-0 in favor of Sutton. Again, a lot of hand fighting going on. Colton seems to be a little bit more defensive than maybe what I've seen him in the past.
Sutton's putting a little bit of pressure on him now.
He's coming after him. And their coach is telling him hustle back to the middle. He thinks maybe he can wear him out a little bit here. Colton in on a shot. And they go out of bounds. We're still 1-0. And coach, they're catching me. I can't miss that action on the other mat sometime.
Right,
I know we're
right,
here, but Murphy and those guys are having a brawl over there.
Absolutely.
We're still 1-0 in favor of Sutton. We're about 50 seconds left in the second period. Again, we're shortening the match. In the past, I've seen Colton, and he's been much more aggressive going after people, and he right now doesn't seem to be doing that.
It's a good shot there by Sutton. Trying to pull his hips in. He knows he's near the edge. He doesn't want to drive him off and waste that scoring opportunity.
I've seen a lot, and I don't see that much in our area, where the kids are shooting that hard double and their head ends up between the legs. Is that something they teach as far as stuff, or is that just you don't get your head where you want?
Well, I just think, yeah, it's more of that. I mean, I think Sutton has been a little bit more the aggressor here throughout the end of this second period. So
gone after him real hard.
Yeah. That blood time is, as you mentioned, it may have slowed down Austin Colton a little bit.
We're at 20 seconds left in the second period. Yeah, he seems more than content just to keep shorting the match. There he's warned for stalling.
Now he gets warned for stalling. There's a good scramble there.
Sutton tried a little too much, maybe with only 10 seconds left. He still scrambled.
What a great scramble there by both guys. And he still gets
right
it. That's a big takedown for Austin Colton. Big time.
Sutton got out of it with some nice scrambling originally, and then Colton just stayed on him hard and got the two. The referees are at. Coach Wojcik asked if he could check with his assistant to make sure that was two.
All 145-pound place winners should be in the awards area at this time. All 145-pound place winners should be in the awards area at this time.
I don't know what the confusion is here.
Yeah, we should, unless the clock's not working, because they don't have it up to the 2 minutes left.
Right. There they go.
Yeah, there we go. Because Colton will be on the bottom. He leads 2-1.
Now we got a little more blood time. Looks like Sutton has blood time here now. Well, unfortunately, I just did receive word that Chris Garcia, the 138-pounder from Montini, was taken to the hospital, and he has been diagnosed with a concussion. So obviously we said that Chris didn't want to win the match that way, and now obviously that's going to, put a possible dent in the Montini duel prognosis for next week.
Well, you always hate that for a boy too. I mean, come through all year long, work. Now here's the ultimate state championship and the state duels next week, and not to get a chance to participate. That's always tough for somebody. And you've had a lot of injuries up there to Montini as far as stuff goes. But Colton gets the escape. He leads 3-1.
We're back to action here.
And again, Sutton, he's had a good game plan. He's forced the action. He just hasn't been able to finish it. And his goal's got to be, maybe he's got him worn out. Well, he'll be able to finish it. Again, coming up, lifting that single. And boy, Colton's just so strong. And a nice mat return, and there's two. Now you're going to stay on him and try and ride it for the tie, or you're going to cut him here?
Well, it's on minute 28. He's going to let him go back to his feet. Yeah. He's got to do that here.
So again, a lot of time, 122. I've really been impressed with the game plan that Sutton's had as far as chasing him and setting things up.
Right.
And let's see if he's able to maintain it for the next minute and 20. And they go out of bounds again. We're at 1 minute and 6 seconds left. Again, to set the scene, Austin Colton, defending undefeated state champion 4. Garrett Sutton, 37-0, also undefeated 3 with a minute left in the match.
Sutton keeps putting that pressure on.
Again, Colton's playing a little bit smarter now instead of backing up because he has been warned for stalling. He's more than content. He made a nice shot, just basically held on to get a stalemate there. I think they went out of bounds. Same thing, he keeps backing up like that. He's putting it in the referee's hands.
Right. Well, he's waiting. He's trying to drop step, and he wants Sutton to take that one step forward. And
Sutton's not doing it.
You know, that's a good.
29 seconds left.
Now, if I'm Sutton's coach, I am absolutely adamant that he get back to the middle, beat him back there, and wait for him. Make sure the referee sees that. I want this stalling call.
Oh, beautiful shot.
That was a nice job by Sutton there.
Got low on the ankles. Now he's got to ride him for 22 seconds. Leads 5-4. Again, last time Colton was on the bottom, he had that explosive stand to get to his feet. Let's see if he still has something left in the gas tank to be able to do that with 22 seconds. Didn't get up originally, got the outside leg out. We're at 15. And Sutton got the leg in there.
That's going to be a tough
situation. He's going to ride it out from there. Yeah, once that leg comes in, he's got him stretched out with the half. And again, a tremendous match. 2 undefeated wrestlers. And the winner for us is going to be Garrett Sutton from Richmond Burton. And he's going to beat Austin Colton, defending state champ from Sycamore. Beats him 5-4.
Well, he did a great job of wearing him down.
He came after him the whole time, and that was the secret to doing it.
He kind of flipped the switch in the second period there and really became much more the aggressor, and that was a tough thing to defend. That was a great match.
Final match. Again, Frazier will be in the white singlet. Montini singlet, you should be familiar with that by now. It's the black with the gold on the sides. And this is it, our final match of the night. Scott Blankenship's our head referee. Roy Snyder's working with him here. And right away, Montalvo's in on a shot, bails out.
Well, this is what we talked about before, Kevin, the fact that the heavyweight match is not capping off our evening.
No,
very different.
A lot of people voiced opinions on this. I've enjoyed it myself. I thought it was fun to go through and just try it that way to see what happened.
I have too.
And right away, Frazier's in on a shot, and he gets the 2 at the edge, so he'll lead 2-0, and he's going to cut him. The automatic cut to make it 2-1. And same deal we talked about before, a sophomore against a senior, but the sophomores had a lot of big matches going a lot of different places, so we'll see how that comes into play.
Right. Montalvo's very seasoned.
Well, yeah, I guess we really shouldn't call these kids sophomores. Some of them probably been wrestling since they were 4 or 5 years old, so they've been around for a long, long time, probably have hundreds and hundreds of matches that they've wrestled during the course of their lives.
Right.
That will be followed up by the individuals champions.
So Montalvo's in on a nice shot there. If he can stay in bounds, no, he steps out. Oh, nice blast shot there.
Good job of hipping him off.
Yeah. We're 44 seconds left, 2-1 in favor of David Frazier from Cahokia. Oh, Montalvo comes after him on a nice low single. Frazier gets his hips back. Oh. Again, wrestling the edge of the mat. The Wizards in.
Right.
And we're at 21 seconds left.
Hell yeah. Come in here and take a shower. I'll try to get down to 3 times too, alright? I know some people out there. Maybe some more fast.
And that'll take us to the end of the first period, 2-1. David Frazier from Cahokia with the lead.
For the team, you guys are, that's right. You want to see
Again, choice goes to Montini. He chooses bottom.
All right, I'll see you, Jimbo. Bye, Coach.
Again, maybe explain to us, Coach, the rules for this concussion thing. You mentioned Garcia. What's the state rule as far as when he can come back?
Well, he's going to have to be cleared, but obviously he'd be done in this competition, and that's one of the things that with all the concern, especially from the world of football, with head type injuries, there has to be clearance, by a medical doctor, and the doctor ordered him. I don't think the young man. I don't know whether he's on the award stand or not.
No, he was not up there.
Yeah, he was not up there, so he obviously wasn't able to even get his award, which, that's a pretty bittersweet moment. You can't stand up and soak in the atmosphere.
So he can't
win state title.
He can't just walk in Monday to practice and say, "Coach, I'm good to go."
No,
He's
going to be cleared, and that's a big form of liability here.
So second period, again, Fraser riding tough on top, 2-1 lead. Again, staying real active with him. Got the ankle wrapped.
Well, he's doing a real good job here. He's, again, anytime that you can take a minute time, this would be a very big blow to Montalvo's game plan if he gets ridden here for a whole period.
And it also wears you out a lot on
Absolutely.
the bottom to keep from getting turned and getting in bad position. You really got to work hard for that. He's going to get a fresh start here. He's got to get moving on the whistle, because once he gets slowed down, he's been struggling so far. 2-1, 52 seconds left, second period still. Now he's on his feet. There he gets
good
his
job
point.
with him there.
Yeah, real big. Points here would be big. One boy or the other. 45 seconds left in the match. Or second period, excuse me. Again, they're both real active with their hands and then going to the shots. In the past, we've seen just kids shooting what we call a blast double, but they're setting it up by doing some other things as far as throw-bys and slide-bys.
Straight-on shot and a reshot.
Montalvo's got him in trouble there.
Boy, Fraser's very strong. Montalvo's got that cradle locked up. Now here's
got a step to the
position
hip.
Right here. He gets him to his back.
Yeah, big time. Just nice-looking technique. Not much time left. We're inside 5 seconds, so I don't think he's going to get the fall.
Time expired.
Yeah.
Well, that was a mistake there, I think Fraser made. He was trying to get out of bounds, not give up the takedown. And unfortunately for him, he gives up the takedown and much more.
And just a pretty finish.
There.
Not one that you see real often. I don't know if he's just something he developed on his own or if they worked on that.
Well, actually, Israel's long been a proponent of bringing that cradle back the other way. You see that with a lot of our guys over the years. And, we used to work with that cradle, bringing that back the opposite way. He's had a lot of success with that.
Because it caught Fraser by surprise. I guarantee that. Like you said, he was trying just to avoid giving up the 2 and just gives up 5 instead. So now he's in big trouble. He's got to get his point and get moving here. 7-2 lead.
Well, again, it just, that's wrestling. It shows you he's in total control of the match. He's going to be down third period. You figure he's got 1 in the bank. He's going to have a 3-2 lead, and Montalvo's going to have to chase him the whole third period, and then all of a sudden that changes the last 10 seconds of the second period.
A little bit of head lever action, again staying tight to the hip. Now he's on his feet. Again, bad spot to be on your feet because you're just going to drive you out of bounds as soon as you come up.
Montalvo's really come alive here at the end of the second period, into the third period, much more aggressive.
That 5-point lead will help that out quite a bit.
Absolutely.
It helps that confidence level. But you're right, he's still working him hard on top. We're at 1:15 left in the second period. Now he's wrapped on an ankle. He needs to climb that in order to avoid the stall call. Looks like we're going to have some injury time out. Looked like maybe the knee got buckled up or twisted up somewhere. Again, Coach, we had a great night. This is our last match of the night. Again, another weekend, tremendous wrestling. The atmosphere down here, like we talked about, is unbelievable. The individual part of it will now be over. Now comes the dual part. Again, for our fans, Tuesday night, go support the local sectional somewhere. Get out there and watch it. Those of you that like strategy and things going on, that's always a fun night. Then next Saturday, 9 and 11 will be our quarterfinal rounds. 2 o'clock's the semis, and I believe the finals are at 6, all over in the U.S. Cellular Coliseum in Bloomington, Illinois. Should be a great day of wrestling. Those of you that like to come over, get over there and watch. If not, get on IHSA TV and watch us. We'll be broadcasting the whole tournament live, all 3 levels. And we're at a minute left in the match. Montalvo on top, leads 7-2. And just riding him hard, not trying to make any mistakes, getting in trouble, controlling the wrist and tight on the hips.
He just wants to keep him on the edge here, running that clock down as tight as he can.
That's exactly, good call. Frazier tried to hit a roll, but they were out of bounds, so there's no way he was going to score with it. So he might get one more chance. 38 seconds left. See if he can get to his feet here. Tries to switch instead and didn't work. And ride him, got the arm bar on, 25. We're inside 15.
Well, he's trying to be real smart here with that combination. He doesn't want to slip anything. And
again, I'll call it staying active, but not doing much is what he's doing. Looks good, got the hips out, and there's a nice win for him. We're state champion. At 160 pounds, Xavier Montalvo, a sophomore from Montini, and I'm still amazed with some of this. That's 54 wins for him. He could get 4 more matches. That's a lot of wrestling in a given year.
Yeah, we went back. We were looking at that actually this week and tracking his schedule, and he actually he only wrestled 20 out of the 21 duels, and he had an injury situation. And at the Ironman tournament to start the year off, he got 10 matches in one tournament.
Well, that'll get you to 55 real quick.
That'll show you.
But again, Coach, always great working with you. We had a good time. Hopefully you all enjoyed it out there. And we'll see you next week, hopefully.
Give credit to these kids tonight. They all put on a great show, all classes here. And it's really a tribute to them. And that's why we have a great state here in Illinois with our wrestling.
Well, yeah, any of you that love wrestling, get out here and watch this, because it's a lot of fun. Those of you that don't love wrestling, come and you'll learn to like it, because it was enjoyable again. But we'll sign off now, and thanks again for listening to us.
Now, the only thing, when you get out of a little bit of your comfort zone, it looks like Schultz expounded a little more energy than he might be used to in the first period, and we'll see how he holds up.
Again, Joseph hasn't all year long really been tested. I think they told me it's the first time he'd been taken down all year was down here at the state tournament. So he's same deal. We'll see how he reacts to doing some things here with 45 seconds left in the second.
Tim Dodds just hit Derek Schultz with a stalling call. So that's going to change his approach a little bit too.
Joseph's locked up the Russian, step into it. And we're inside 30 seconds still. Two big points here. If somebody could get a takedown in the last 15 seconds, with 25 seconds actually, be huge going into that third period.
Absolutely. Now, one thing it looks like Lucas Joseph has made a little bit of an adjustment now. He's doing what we call stalking. He's not just chasing and staying high when he was chasing Schultz in the first period. Now he's stalking, and he's changed up his stance a little bit. He's not given an opportunity for him to drop down and shoot on that single like he was so often able to do in the first period. So I think that's an adjustment he just made here. He's probably going to get up to his feet again here. Schultz is going to cut him, I think.
Yeah, we'll go 2-2 third period. Joseph chooses bottom. Schultz gives him the automatic cut, so Joseph will lead 3-2. Now it's basically who's going to get to their takedown and finish it. Schultz has shown us he can get there. He just hasn't finished it. Joseph really hasn't worked hard to score off the things, but the one time he went after it, he did score.
See, there he did a much better job of being athletic. He was waiting for that reshot. You know, all those almost scoring opportunities in the first period were, again, defensive opportunities that he reshot on. I'm talking about Schultz. And so Joseph has made that adjustment now. He's stalking. He's in a much better athletic position. And those reshots the last 2 or 3 times haven't come close to scoring for Schultz.
Schultz has to be careful because, like you said, he has been warned for stalling, so he's got to at least a lot of time left, minute and a half, so he doesn't have to force his shots. He just has to make sure he stays tight and gives himself one chance to win the thing.
And Joseph wants to keep working these ties. There he is reacting to that shot. Much better reaction than he had in the first period. Wants to try to stay in bounds, see if he can score off this dive shot.
Oh, and Joseph's in perfect position. If he gets in trouble, he can just push off. And like I said, he's just eating up time. We're inside 1:10 right now. Good call by the ref. He gives it to stalemate to get him back out to the center again.
But with 1:07 left in the third period, I think Derek Schultz is still in pretty good position here where he wants to be.
Yeah, can't argue with you. He's been in tight with the shots. Just one time he's got to finish it, and he can win a match.
And as we've seen in this tournament, he's certainly used to winning close matches. He's done that throughout this entire tournament here. That's a great reshot there, but Joseph was ready.
We're inside 45 seconds right now at 45 seconds for you. Whoa. We'll see who's got it left in them in the last 45 seconds. Like you said, they both expended a lot of energy moving around, even though it's low scoring.
Joseph, again, just wants to keep his hands on him. He wants to snap him here. He's going to work those Russians, trying to get into a front headlock situation there.
A nice, safe position again for Joseph. He gets in trouble, he can just push out. We're inside 30 seconds. He should try and stay in bounds there and eat up the clock. Good call.
20 seconds left now. Look for Schultz. Look for Schultz to do some kind of a shot fake and a reshot here. That's what he wants. He wants to use Joseph's aggression against him. He's got to get him off balance here.
One time finish it and he'll win the match because he's only under 15 seconds right now. And Joseph doing a nice job controlling the wrist. And he hasn't been warned for stalling. Joseph hasn't. So now he should just put in the deep freeze. We're inside 5, and that's going to be our state champion. Tremendous match for both people. Again, one of those ones, a lot of times Schultz got in tight and just couldn't finish it. We always tell kids, you'll get one chance to win it, and he got a couple and just couldn't quite get it done.
Derek Schultz, a great job there. He wrestled very hard throughout the entire match. And again, when you lose a state championship match like that, you've got nothing to hang your head on.
You gave yourself a chance to win.
He should feel very proud about doing that.
Yeah, this Farmer kid, he's impressed me throughout the course of the Greco and freestyle out in Fargo, and then so far this tournament. He'll be in the red singlet. Patsy Tyler will be in the white singlet. And we're here at 285. Our referee here will be Roy Snyder from Rochelle, and Mike Herkus is his assistant. Mike's from Ridgewood.
Tanner is really a very, very large young man. He is really put together, and obviously Kopachi is not small himself.
No, Kopachi had a great match in the final, or semis. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it. He was wrestling Cochran from Carmel, and Cochran was a #1 ranked heavyweight coming in, and they got in a scramble, and Kopachi left him on his back to get a pin, and it was just a real exciting match for two big kids to be flying around like that. But Farmer's in on a shot. You don't see that much out of these big heavyweights. Tyler's trying to get his hips on him. Farmer's up with the leg.
He's trying to keep that on the edge there.
And I should push him out. I don't think he can score from there. Yeah. And we're 57 seconds left. First period, still no score.
And there, again, no score there. Had a scoring opportunity. Was in deep on a shot, but he couldn't convert.
Now we're going to go back to our typical heavyweight match, maybe a lot of hand fighting. Well, you got to figure they're trying to set something up and afraid to try too much early in a match to get in trouble. And we always talk about maybe in the first period you may not hit your best move, but you should see what's going to work for you in that third period when you need it.
Boy, both these guys are just really solid. You know, look at how this is close to 600 pounds of pure grade A solid beef out there. That's for sure.
A little bit of athleticism too.
Absolutely.
They move around pretty well for that size.
Absolutely.
Farmer only a junior.
Yeah.
And Tyler a senior. So again, we're inside 15 seconds left. And again, here's going to come up like we've been talking all day. Coin flip could be huge.
Sure,
because
sure.
this could be one of those ones that goes into a sudden.
Well, in the heavyweight
victory.
matches, these are usually, you know, very, very important. I remember a few years ago, there was a heavyweight state championship match that was decided because the young man won the flip and they didn't choose correctly, and he deferred, and that came back to haunt him in the state championship match.
Well, surprisingly, the Southeast boy deferred there also.
Yeah.
He must not have felt comfortable going underneath him, is all I can think of early.
Yeah.
Again, he's on his feet, and there's the escape, so Farmer will lead 1-0. And again, look for maybe a little bit of hand fighting and not much action here for the next minute and 40 seconds unless somebody makes a mistake or they can get him out of position. And again, while we're sitting here, Coach, let's take a look at the, I know you're active with our IWCOA, and they're going to have their annual All-Star meet, Illinois against Indiana. I believe it's Sunday, March 17th, and this year it's over in Indianapolis.
Yes, it is. It's and you know, that's a great opportunity every year to showcase our seniors. Last year we had a great meet out at DeKalb High School. They did an excellent job hosting for us, and boy, our Illinois boys really came through on both levels. And you know, one of the things that I'd love to clarify right now, and I know, you know, people are thinking, you know, Indiana only has one class, and obviously we have three. So our job is to try to get representation among our three classes and put together two dual teams. And you know, there's been a little bit of a misunderstanding, a discrepancy about which team is the A team or which team is the B team, or you know, the 3A team versus the 2A team or 1A team. And you know, that's really not what we're doing. You know, state champions are going to get chosen. And even if we have three senior state champs at weight, if they all want to wrestle, we will put them all on the score. So it's really something that I you know, really want everyone to know that it's a great event, and we're certainly trying to get everybody involved. And you know, it really works well when we get that representation from across the classes.
Oh yeah, exactly. And it's just, again, a nice chance for the kids, you say, to showcase their talent, and for a chance to show, in this case, show Indiana how nice wrestling is in Illinois, how solid we are.
Right.
Again, I know you're kind of involved with all this. You mentioned there's going to be two different teams that go over, and so there's two different duels that go on. And you say that at some point in time we actually take an extra person, maybe just to get another match in.
Yeah, if we have any weight class, if we have three state champions, you know, 1A, 2A, and 3A, we certainly think that those young men deserve, you know, every opportunity to compete. So we'll get a match set up with Indiana. We work closely with them, and they're able to do that. So, but again, I want to dispel that rumor. We don't try to put together an A team or a B team or a big team or a small school team. You know, we're trying to piece together you know, as many guys as we can, and kind of different representation. And you know, as we see, there's a scoring opportunity for Tanner.
I'm not big on heavyweight sitting out. That's just to be a bad idea, because you get sucked back once and you're done.
Absolutely.
We're about a minute and a half left. Tyler's on his feet and doesn't score off all that.
Boy, that was a tough position there. He really needed to turn in. He could have gotten an escape there.
Okay, so again, minute and 25. Farmer will lead 1-0, third period. Tyler ties a power stand. He's up to his feet, tries to take the steps to score. Doing a nice job of hand fighting. Oh, nice mat return.
Boy, that showed some strength right there.
Yeah, he's got a mat returning again. He's got Warren for stalling. And again, that's a rule that many people don't understand.
Yeah.
That's not judgment on the referee.
Right.
He comes to his feet. The rule says, top man, you have to mat return him. You can't say, I'm trying. You have to get it done, or you have to cut him.
Right.
So we're inside 50 seconds right now, 1-0.
Tanner Farmer's very happy to be on the edge of the mat right there.
Can't get in any
Apache
trouble.
Tyler this clock is winding down here. He really needs to get a fresh start, as we used to say, and
Needs to run
get out
to
of
his
bounds
right or crawl forward.
absolutely
To peel
get a fresh start so he can go back to the middle. He's got one more burst left here, and that's going to be it for his scoring opportunity.
Off his stand, he hasn't been able to break the hands. Maybe
Right.
his best bet's to stand and just get there and try and get the stall call, because he hasn't been able to score with the escape yet. 32 seconds left, third period.
Tanner Farmer is doing a real good job of being aggressive on top. There's that sit out. He's got to turn tight, and he gets his hips buried there. It's going to be a tough position to come up from in 23 seconds.
Farmer's just going to run him out of bounds if he gets in too much trouble.
He's got that wing there.
Yep, and they'll let him sit there on it for the last 15. We're inside 15 now. He's taking a chance. He's trying to turn him inside 10. And it's not going to happen. We're going to have a state champ from Highland High School, Tanner Farmer. And again, 39-0, only a junior. Beats a boy from Southeast, Apache Tyler, a senior. Apache now 36 wins and 2 losses. And just, again, typical heavyweight match. Tyler couldn't get away. Farmer got on top and did a great job of riding him. So, again, I guess we got to give him credit. We mentioned he spent a lot of time out in Fargo. That means he's doing some off-season wrestling.
Well, I think he took advantage. He pushed the pace early. He actually got in on a couple of shots, and I think he slowed down Tyler's offense. And Tyler had opportunities to score in the bottom. He just couldn't convert them, and I think he didn't realize the clock was ticking down as fast as it was. So great job by Tanner Farmer. Awesome match.
Now we're going to go back and catch the little guys at 106. Coach, tell us what we have here at 106.
Well, first of all, we have Nkosi Moody from Rich Central, and he is a veteran wrestler. Last year, he actually lost a close match in the state finals and finished second, and he's also a junior national champion. Very, very talented young man, and obviously exciting style. And he's wrestling Danny Swan from Oak Forest. He's 33-9. He's a sophomore, and so I'm sure that they have some familiarity with each other even throughout the summer and off season and this year.
Moody in the white singlet, in on the early takedown, cut him. He leads 2-1, and he looks real active as far as moving around. Like I said, he had a great time out in Fargo this past year.
Absolutely. Well, he spent a lot of the year up at 113, and a lot of people were anticipating the rematch between him and Tommy Pawlowski in the finals at 113, possibly, and also the young man from Sycamore, who's there, Kyle Aikens, and but that didn't materialize as Nkosi dropped down to 106, and actually I believe he bumped his brother out of the lineup at that time to be stronger for the individual tournament.
Okay, well, it also works out he had to wrestle Pawlowski's younger brother from Montini at 106 in the semis.
Right.
So again, nice deal for Montini to have another set of brothers coming through the system.
Absolutely. Well, Nkosi did a good job. Little brother Jimmy wasn't able to duplicate that older brother Tommy's effort.
Jimmy's only a freshman.
Jimmy's a freshman. He's got a few years.
And Moody being a senior, that's just that physical maturity is huge.
It is.
Again, he leads 2-1. We're inside 30 seconds right now in the first period.
And he's very, very flashy. He can score very quickly and score in bunches. So, again, Danny Swan is here as a sophomore and has put together a real solid season. He just wants to keep this match close and don't give up any big scoring opportunities that are going to get him out of the match early.
Yeah, you talked about that earlier, weathering the storm, and he's done a nice job, assuming he gets through the last 7 seconds here. And that's fine. He got a stall in the warning. That's not going to hurt you. Shorten the match as much as possible when you're the underdog. So it's 2-1 after the first period.
And Coach Sean Forrest from Oak Forest is putting him down here to start. Now, Moody will probably end up cutting him.
Exactly, so he basically earns his point. Bob Culbertson's our head referee here. Ryan Coit's working with him. And again, maybe tell our fans a little bit about what the assistant referee does on these things, Coach.
Well, it's interesting because one of the things I've long, watched matches downstate here, and especially in the duels, and it's very difficult because being an assistant referee, if you talk to a lot of veteran referees, they'll secretly tell you that they would probably prefer to work alone.
Yeah, I always believe that also.
And they won't say that too far out loud, obviously, but it's difficult for them because they're not used to working a two-man system. But the assistant referee is supposed to pay attention to all the details, the starts. He positions himself there. Also, he really should be in charge of the clock and managing the match that way. So we've got some great veteran officials down here, but again, I really think sometimes they're almost put at a disadvantage because they're not used to working that system so much throughout the year.
Yeah, they don't have to make they don't feel they have to make the call. And big thing down here, the assistant referee to me is the time.
Absolutely.
Because we don't use horns because there's 6 mats going on. And they have to be able to help the head guide, hey, did that happen before time was out, and so on. So I think that's their major job. But again, 2-2, we're inside a minute in the period, and Swan's just done a great job of staying in this match for the first 3 minutes. We'll see if he can keep the poise and technique, or keep the poise going here for himself in the last 45 of the
He's right where he wants to be right here. He beat a very tough kid, Jordan Reich from Vernon Hills, in the semifinals 4-3. So he's Danny won a 4-3 match. He won a 7-5 match. So he's been tested in this tournament. He's responded very well. And
Wright came back and finished third. He beat the younger Pulowski Jimmy in the third place match. So again, Moody in and got the front headlock, tries to throw it by. Nice job of elbow control by Swan, so he couldn't throw him by. Swan should just push him out if he gets in trouble.
Right.
Either that or stay right there and let the time run off the clock.
He's controlled that front headlock situation there, and as you said, Moody tried to shuck him by, but Swan had an excellent job, and the key to that is, trying to control that above the elbow.
Assuming Swan gets through the last 10 seconds, I will assume Moody's going to take the bottom. We'll put you in charge of Swan again. You're going to have him ride him and try and turn him?
I'll tell you what, that's going to be an interesting decision because I don't know if that's automatic that Moody's going to go down because I don't know if Swan, he looks like he could be a cradle or a leg man. You're
right.
Like I thought, they're going to go neutral.
Good call. Okay, so that's taking a little risk, but that's knowing your talent is what it amounts to.
Yeah. And that's probably a scouting report, that the coaches know. I'm sure Danny Swan is a tough rider on top. He looks long. Those are all the guys I hated being on top of me.
Exactly. They leech on you.
So this is Moody figures he's going to end this match, one way or another on his feet and with his strength.
I'd like to see him be a little more active. We talked about earlier, he came out that initial shot and just got in there real well, but since then he's been a little tentative with his shots. There's a nice reshot.
Yeah. Well, and you've seen enough wrestling, Kevin. You understand it too. And for some reason, young people, when they get into a tight match or tight situation, they forget about their geometry lessons. They forget all about angles and everything is straightforward, and they kind of have that. You see it so much down here. And, he just got to, for his point here, he's got to relax. He's got to move his feet and go side to side, and he's got to get Swan opened up, and he's got to take that shot.
Now, if you're Swan here, do you try and be a little more active to get your takedown, or you just try and keep it slow and just eat the time up?
I think the longer the match goes, the better it is for him. So if we go to overtime here and, we get into a mat situation with rideouts and things on the mat, Swan's got to feel real good about his position here. So I'm looking at a 1 minute period here left in the third, and I'm looking at a 1 minute overtime, and I don't care if there's any points scored if I'm Danny Swan.
Swan's doing a great job of controlling the elbow and making Moody.
He wants that redrag here.
We get a stalemate, 47 seconds left. So it's been a great match as far as a little bit of moving around, but not a lot of scoring for us.
Right.
And like you say, Swan's done a great job with his strategy, shortening the match. He's got it down to under 40 seconds. If he could score here, he'd be all set. Even if he doesn't, he's getting to the overtime part. Oh, nice throw by.
Now, if you remember the match last year, the match, Moody got aggressive towards the end of the match and needed to score to try to secure the win, and that's when he was scored on with a defensive type of reshot situation. And I think that Swan is really looking for the same kind of thing here.
We're inside 15 seconds right now, 2-2, third period. Moody does a nice job of controlling that elbow off the front headlock.
Swan just won't let him have that. Now, Moody's really putting the pressure on here now. He opened up a little bit last 30 seconds, but Danny Swan is right where he wants to be in this match.
So that's where Swan's ability on the top got him this far, because Moody was afraid to take the bottom, so he chose neutral. Now first point would win. I don't think anybody's been warned for stalling.
No.
So we're looking probably at a takedown unless there's some type of illegal hold. And like you've talked about, if Swan can weather this and get to the second part where it's mat wrestling, he's probably going to have a good chance.
Absolutely. Well, he took a far shot there, and now he's looking. I think he wanted to set up this redrag opportunity. He's in pretty good shape right here. Now Moody kind of adjusted, so they're squaring off again.
Swan had that left arm where he looked like he had a chance. We're inside 30 seconds to go. Moody keeps trying to throw him by off this front headlock, and he can't. There's again, because now he comes back the other way off the throwback.
Fouled that up with a reshot.
And Swan should try and bail out of bounds if they'll let him. Moody does a nice job of circling back in. Whizzers in, still whizzer in inside 15. Swan, if he could just push at him, he could score. There it is. And let's see what's going to happen.
Nothing.
No, nothing. Time was out.
Time went out.
And from where we saw,
an
let's
opportunity.
See.
I don't think he got a takedown there. Oh, they gave it to him.
Again, that's where the assistant referee was doing his job. He was standing there looking at the clock, and he looked over and asked him, and he said, yes, it was 2. You could see him from our angle. He's standing right there looking right at the clock. So again,
well, he saw. I think the action was completed within the time. I don't think that was a question. I just didn't see. And again, we're up here. We can't see. The referees obviously have a bird's eye view. I wasn't sure about control. In the situation.
Exactly.
But I knew that the flurry had completed within the time. But Danny Swan, that was a great job of holding position the entire match and
following your game plan,
making it count. Right.
I enjoy the dual part of it immensely because of the strategy involved. Moving a guy here to get the matchup you want, teaching a kid, hey, just go out and stay off your back in order to help the program. So we're ready to go here at 1:13, and like we said, this just should be a great one for us.
Now Aikens is 39-1. And I know that his only loss was to the Cullen boy from Cary Grove, who's an excellent wrestler up in 3A. And Pawlowski's losses are mostly, from out of state. So, this is a premier matchup.
Pawlowski being the black singlet with the gold on the side. Aikens is in the multi-type of black, silver, white, whatever it happens to be. And Aikens in with an elbow control. And getting a little bit of movement there. Both of them wrestling at the edge. Oh, nice hips by Pawlowski. Got him out of bounds. Again, nothing. Minute and 12 left in the first period. And again, you got a chance. I know this has got to be a great moment for you. This senior class for Montini was the last kids that came through when you were in charge up there. So one last time you get to watch them. And Aikens is in on a nice inside single. Needs to run it to his left if he can.
Tommy's holding good position there.
Again, our head referee's Mike Kirkus. Robert Zielinski's working with him. Robert from McKendree. And Mike's from Ringwood. And again, we always got to mention these referees. They got the toughest job of anybody out there. Aikens with the takedown at the edge. And he leads 2-0. We're inside 30 seconds left in the first period. And Aikens should stay real tight right there and just get in trouble, just get out of bounds.
Oh, he did a real good job getting that leg in right off the bat. He's going to limit that scoring opportunity.
Again, we're inside 10 seconds right now. And Aikens' ride out would be huge here for him. And it looks like unless they get a stalemate, he'll be able to do it.
It's a big first period for Kyle. That's a big lead, and obviously that takedown happening late was a great advantage.
Yeah, I always like to work with the kids and tell them scoring last is real important in a period to keep you in it. And Aikens will go underneath. Second period, he leads 2-0. Again, tell us maybe a little bit about the transition. You got out 3 years ago. Israel takes over for you and didn't seem to miss a beat. You must have been able to pick up what you've been teaching for countless years.
Well, there's no secret. Israel is a great technician, and he was a big part of all of our success over the years. And I believe as a coach, my philosophy was always you have to get better. When you stand still, you're not getting better. You're obviously you're getting worse, actually. And so Israel was really starting to have a great impact. And the big thing that impressed me about him was his commitment to the kids in the off season, and to their development, and especially young guys here like Tommy and some of the other boys in our program. Again, what we were talking about. And so I knew that as my time was winding down, that if he wanted to commit himself to the program, that he'd do an excellent job, and the transition has been pretty good.
Akins earns the escape. He leads 3-0. Just over a minute left in the second period.
Akins again has been pretty dominant throughout this tournament. He had a fall in the first round, and a tech fall, and a major decision. So he's wrestling with a lot of confidence right now, and it shows.
Well, I had the privilege of watching him wrestle last week in the sectional, and we were all remarking what a great weight class that was for our particular sectional. And then we looked at the end of the day. He had basically tech falled or pinned everybody that was there, and these kids were all just quality types of people.
Right.
In fact, they came through. Boy from Cahokia, Damian Adams, finished third here. Isaac Anderson was fourth out of Sterling.
Right.
And then one of the other All-Staters out of East Moline came from the sectional also.
Obviously, that's, so many times you do see that. And to be able to battle that competition, 2 weeks in a row like that says something about him.
The big points here. If boy from Montini could get a point to get back in it, otherwise trailing 3-0 going to thirds is going to make it real hard.
Right.
Akins playing it smart. He's right there at the edge. If he gets in trouble, he's just going to bail him out. There he gets out of bounds. We're inside 13, or we're at 13 seconds here. On a shot,
nice shot on an angle there.
Huge points
He's
to
trying to
score
get that
here.
leg up and shelf it. He's trying to put it up on his thigh like he did to finish in the first period.
All right, we'll assume Montini boy is going to take the bottom. And Akins, we saw earlier, he's been really tough on top. So this isn't a natural, he'll just get his one and shoot takedowns. We'll see what happens here when they try and go at it. 2 minutes left. Nice hip-to-hip ride. Again, really enjoy the way he stays tight on those hips, and you talked about the hip pressure and driving forward. Look, he's on his toes for the most part, pushing into him.
Yep, he generates a lot of pressure on top there.
And we're inside a minute and 30, still 3-0 in favor of Kyle Akins out of Sycamore.
Just keeping Pawlowski's chest buried to the mat there.
And still staying active with his hands. The ref's going to let you do a lot of this stuff once you stay on the hips, as long as your hands are looking for various things. They go out of bounds. We're at 1 minute and 8 seconds left.
Alex Fritz from Marvin, please return to the award area. Alex Fritz, Marvin, to the award area.
Now here's a good chance for Tommy to try to jump the whistle here, try to get to his feet. He hasn't been warned. He's got to get to his feet. It would have been a good chance. If you give up a false start there, it's not a big deal.
Not because you get two of them,
absolutely.
So you might as well use one now.
He's got to get to his feet. He can't get any more time here getting grounded down.
Well, he's just leeching him on top. He gets up there hip to hip. And we're inside 45 seconds right now.
Kyle's getting off to the side enough here. He's working. He keeps breaking him down. He's flattening him out. And every time that happens, that's a good 10, 12, 15 seconds that it takes. And
there's your warning for stalling. But again, 35 seconds left.
Right.
Don't get carried away on top. They give you a few seconds, even if they warn you again.
Right.
You still got to reverse you to tie you. Right. There you go. Nice quick start for the boy from Montini, but he just couldn't finish. He got to the leg out right away, but got flattened out. We're inside 30.
He's got that half in there nice and deep. Tommy's trying to circle and pop out the back door. He's got to peel that half off.
We're inside 10 right now. 8 seconds left. Kyle Akins from Sycamore will lead 3-0, and now basically just don't let him roll you, and you should be a state champion.
Right.
Again, we talked about earlier, this was going to be one of our premier matches, and it was a tremendous one for us. Our state champion from Sycamore will be Kyle Akins, and what many might consider a slight upset. But again, watching him for the last couple weeks, he's legitimate. And Pulaski, defending state champ,
Right.
he just...
Well, anytime a state champion, gets beat, obviously that becomes an upset. But Kyle Aikens sure had a very solid match and controlled the match from start to finish. So he put together a great match and did an excellent job. As again I've said with several of the other young men that wrestled and didn't come out on top. Tommy's had a tremendous individual career as a three-time place winner, and I'm sure he's going to have a great career out at Stanford. Vince is a little bit different of a style than his brother Jake, and he's a little slicker and a little more, can be a little more flashy, and has had some, like I said, some success in the Greco scene. So he's going to want to try to open up and score a little bit here.
Shane Morgan will be our head referee. Shane out of Oswego. Phil Filippi will be Frank Filippi, excuse me, is our assistant referee out of Glen Ellen. And again, McGee's in the white singlet, and Turk's in the black with the gold on the side types of singlet. Again, McGee, watching him wrestle in the sectional, he likes to shoot and likes to move quite a bit, and he lost a great match in the sectional to Kenny Baldridge, and just a real fun one to watch. And then Turk I won't use the word upset, he beat Baldridge in the semis to get to this match. He beat Baldridge 3-1. So.
Well, and a big part of this match is when you have a young man that's had a lot of success down here, multiple place winner, but sometimes when you get to that senior year and you haven't won that title, sometimes that can play tricks on you. And we'll see if he's able to open up and, wrestle his style that he's accustomed to, or let's see if his, Turk is able to slow him down a little bit.
Well, that's what Baldridge did a great job in the sectional, slowing him down. He locked him up, and McGee couldn't use his quickness in order to do some things. And at the end, Baldridge got a takedown in overtime in order to win it. But you got to slow him down. You can't get him moving like that in order to have success. And again, a deal we talked about a little bit in the last weight class. There's a boy getting a college scholarship, and he's 120 pounds in the lightest weight class there. He's got to grow in order to be in it.
Right. Well, there's a great takedown there. Turk did a good job of defending on the wrists, and McGee switched off and kept that in bounds. A big early takedown there.
It's 2-1. We're inside 15 seconds left in the first period. Turk staying in real good body position there. McGee couldn't get to anything off of him. Period ends. McGee's going to defer his choice to the second or third period, and Turk will take bottom. See how long he tries to ride him for. In the past, he basically, if you stand, he cuts you. So we'll see what's going to happen. Staying on him a little bit, and there he cuts him. 1:55 left. 2-2 now. Oh, nice blast.
That's a nice shot there. You could see his power and explosion there. Turk really wasn't ready for that shot.
Now 4-2. Again, in the past, he's tried to ride him until he gets in any type of trouble. No, he doesn't want to get on the bottom as far as stuff goes. Little head lever. Again, Turk trails 4-2.